recording as well. Let me bring up our screen. You guys should be able to let me get a 1 or a Y or a what's up or a funny word just so you can hear me. Let me know that I'm still coming in loud and clear because I want to get started. I got a lot to cover. Kaboozy! Yes, that's the best. Kaboozy. That's amazing. Thank you, Troy. That just made my day. Okay, hold on. Wait a second. There we go. Whew. All right, fixed it. All right. This is it. You are here live. What is it? Monday, 5:00 p.m. I don't even know what day it is. Is it the 9th today or the 10th? It's the 9th. It's the 9th of October. This is a very special live presentation that we're doing. For you guys who came early, you got the link. I'll put the link up again. Don't worry. We're just choosing at random for our virtual hot seat experience. I'm going to go over this in full detail. I did see some questions come in. Do I have to be unmuted to do the hot seat? That's going to be recommended. I want to have a real conversation with you. So yeah, ideally. But I'll check before we pick people and unmute you. And if you say no, then we might skip you. We might see if we can answer the question real quick and continue. I'll get into all the boring logistic stuffs in a moment. But first of all, let's just jump into what we're really doing here. Okay, what you're about to experience. First of all, when I look at the industry today, okay, people who want to learn more about online marketing, growing their business on the interwebs, it's no longer. Okay, it's a big shift that has happened in the last few years. It's no longer a lack of content that is keeping people stuck, frustrated, and overwhelmed, but rather a lack of clarity. Now, it used to be both. Like they're not clear on what they need to do, but they also didn't have the answers. Now it's like we have an overabundance of answers. You know what I'm talking about? Type a 1 into the chat box, right? Most of us, and look, I get this way too, are over freaking whelmed, and I just got ones that flooded our chat box. So, give yourself a little hug and realize that you're not alone. So, you're off the hook a bit. Don't beat yourself up for it. You're really not alone, okay? It's a serious problem, and that's really what we try to help our students with. And we don't try, we do, okay? But once you have a clear plan that you can actually believe in, like, yes, this will work for me, right? Because it's like not just having a plan, it's about having confidence in that plan. You're going to start to have an experience of what it's like to be unstoppable. A lot of times people kind of half do something because part of them doesn't believe that it's going to work out, right? You know what I'm talking about as well. So that's what I want to do. I want to give you clarity with a plan by giving you a plan that you can feel confident in. Then it's just a matter of putting one foot in front of the other. Action, action, action. Okay. Who here has already started watching the 3-part video series for Business by Design, The Power of Process? We'll put a link into the chat box right now, businessbydesigntraining.net. We'll take you to our 3-part video series. I highly recommend you watch that, not right now because we're live, but just open it up in a new tab and check those videos out. If you haven't finished them, make sure to finish them. They are coming down at the end of this week. And that was my drum roll. Enrollment is now open for Business by Design. We will be talking about BBD tonight on this call. I'll be answering all your questions. We've got a special bonus for those of you guys who enroll today or who have already enrolled today. I know a lot of you on the call have already enrolled. So a virtual high five to you and thank you. People saying amazing, awesome things about the program. And we just checked the members portal. This was Matthew. I don't know if Matt's on the call with us right now. And he said, wow, I feel like I hit the jackpot. It's mind-blowing to see all this is being offered through this program. It's going to be a really great year. That was like 3 hours ago. It really is going to be a great year. Okay, so we'll talk about Business by Design like at the top of the hour, and then maybe we'll just keep going with hot seats. We'll see what happens. We've never done this before, so, a little improv, a little rat-a-tat-tat. Okay, why is this training here tonight, this experience? It's really not even a training, but it is a live something, live experience. Why is this different than anything that you've experienced before? First of all, we are breaking the traditional teacher-student dynamic. Listen to me closely because I really want you to get this. For years, I struggled, and the more I kept going to events, the more I kept learning, the more I realized it was reinforcing the student role. And look, I'm a lifetime student, and I'm still learning. I'm still going to events. I'm still coaching. I still have mentors, still have masterminds. I still buy products all the time. But when are you going to be in the action mode? Or are we always learning? Are we just going to stay stuck in the student mode? Okay. When are you going to step into teacher mode? Because that's what it takes. It takes being a leader to your industry. It takes being an authority to your marketplace. And it takes being a teacher to your students. So when will it be enough? When will you have enough of that content in your head that you can finally turn around and say, it's my turn to serve? That's what we're going to do today. For some of you that feel like you've gotten stuck in the student mode. I get it. I was there. And also, I have no friggin' clue what we're going to talk about tonight. I know it's going to be amazing, but here's what's so special is you're going to create this, not me. You're creating this, not me. And you're going to get access to the same type of work and exercises and experience that I do with my 6 and 7 figure clients that pay me $25,000 plus to do this. In fact, let's talk about them right now. Here's a few of my mastermind members. And these are results from this year, just a few of them. Rachel and Amanda, business partners, they generated more revenue in their first 3 months of 2017 than all of last year. How crazy amazing is that? They are rock stars. They had a launch, biggest launch ever, 300K. They beat their last year, 2016 revenue by the end of quarter one. That's a good first year. You guys know Rachel Luna? She's a rock star. Skyrocketed her income by over 400%. Jasmine Star, she did her first 6-figure launch. I think it was like 230,000 for the first one, for her first online course. She's also launched a brand new membership this year that's got like 3,000 or 4,000 members. It's just rock star, amazing people. You might recognize some of these. Rick Mulready, Zach Spuckler. Okay, and I share this. Actually, no, I'm going to share a few more. Here's a text message. Actually, these are 2 text messages. I'll read the first one that I got like a couple days ago, this week. No, I'm sorry, it's Monday. So last week, within the last 7 days. Just wanted to share my revenue goal for this year was 500K, which would have been double what I did last year. And I hit that in August. And I'm on track to do around 750,000 this year by the end, which is a new updated goal. I got another one that says, you won't remember this, but on my application for IC, that's the Inner Circle Mastermind, I said I'd consider this year, 2017, to be a success if I had 500K. Year to date, 2017, I'm at 523. And I still have a launch to go. This snuck up on me, and I'm in complete disbelief right now. Thank you so freaking much from the bottom of my heart. I don't know where I'd be right now if I didn't find the guts to film that little 2-minute audition tape 18 months ago. So cool. Now, why do I share this? This is a great picture. Why do I share that? Why do you care? Because the work I do with them, we're going to do that together. So, warning, breakthroughs ahead. Okay, so the first thing is that make sure you guys stay present, stay open, be coachable. We've already had a ton of people already submit their hot seat. We'll put the link up again in a moment. Not everyone is going to get a chance for a hot seat today, so accept that fact. Now, obviously, one of the benefits of joining us inside my program is we're going to repeat this experience a bunch. Okay? So this isn't, the end of the line for you, so don't worry if you don't get called. Also, if you don't get called, doesn't mean it's not going to be valuable for you. In fact, you're going to find this more valuable than just doing generic content, because it's far more applicable, and you're going to see that. So I'm going to give you guys one more chance here for those of you who have hopped in a little late. whatever. JamesWhitmer.com/hot seat. Now go fill that out. Take your time, but whatever. Kind of, don't take more than like 3 to 5 minutes. All right. And I'm just going to quickly go over my story and my foundation so we can get into this. Okay. For those of you who don't really know me or don't know much about me. First of all, I love that picture. My mom took that back in 2008. April 18th, 2008 was the day I made my very first sale on the internet. That was life-changing. That product right there was all I knew how to do at the time, guys. 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago. It was 10 years ago when I came up with the idea to take my knowledge of how to bartend and sell it on the internet. And yes, I created a physical product, DVD, swipe out. I mean, look at the blue thing on the floor was a checklist. Like, you guys, this is crazy. But I gave them a process for how to launch their bartending business. You can see how long I've been doing this for now, right? That allowed me to quit my job. I was a bartender, so I took what I knew at the time, the only thing I knew how to do at the time, really, and turned it into a product. And, today I help people do that, right? Now, it wasn't a straight shot from bartender to what I'm doing today. What it was is I grew that business a lot by doing a lot of YouTube videos. And in 2011, I launched a product with my good buddy, the guy on the right, good-looking gentleman, Mr. Lewis Howes. And we launched a product called Video Traffic Academy in 2011. We generated $400,000 in sales with a $97 product in the first 30 days. And that product has gone on to do multiple millions of dollars. Most people have either heard of this or own this product. It has sold so many copies. It's unbelievable. But that's not the unbelievable part. The unbelievable part is that I thought bigger than a course. I thought an entire business. And today, it took a few years, but created a suite of over 15 different video-related products. I thought beyond one course. I have videos on how to make your first video. I have videos on how to edit. I have videos on how to outsource. I have videos on how to make Facebook videos, how to make YouTube videos, how to make sales videos. And it goes on and on and on. And I have a $450,000 a year membership. I do $15,000 a day VIP day coaching. And yes, I have a $25,000 to $30,000 a year mastermind, depending on if you pay in full or do a payment plan. I did all of this. I created this entire 7-figure business around my niche of online video. Now, what happened then is, of course, people started coming to me and say, how are you doing this? How are you building this business? And I slowly, quietly, behind the scenes, started working with clients one-on-one, turned that into a mastermind, and then turned that into Business by Design. But I've had students do this in every niche imaginable. Mariah McCullough, she's a good friend of mine today, fitness and weight loss, spirituality, food canning, that's Teresa Lowe. She's a rock star. She's doing big launches, teaching how to can food. I didn't even know what that was until I met her. Jack Long with teaching guitar. Chris Vonner Maven with meditation. We've even had him on the podcast. Nicholas with cooking lessons. Branding. Raising chickens. Yeah, it's a real thing. And sex. Because sex sells, ladies and gentlemen. And a lot of you guys know Tiffany, Coach Glitter. She does live video. She does looking great on camera. So these are just a few of our students and the awesome stuff that they've been able to do. Now, I want to do a quick exercise with you. All right? Because as I was putting these slides together, I started asking myself a question, right? The reason we're doing this is questions. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of questions you ask. So ask some good questions. I started saying well, what has attributed to these type of results in my life? I put successful in quotes because I believe we have to define success for ourselves, not what society defines it as, right? So, but I've succeeded in my definition. I'm happy with what I've created. And so I came up with two things. Number one, I said I come from a place of service first and always. See, when I started, it was all about how to make a quick buck. It was all about how can I make money? How can I make this to work? And I see this in so many people. Neediness pushes people away. When you chase money, it just runs faster. So do this for me. We're going to keep it totally anonymous. I'm not going to call anybody out, but be honest with yourself. Check in with your gut. Where do you fall on this scale for yourself? 0 is never, 10 is always. Go ahead and type it into the chat box. I'm not going to call anybody's name out. It's just a chance to be honest. I want to see where people fall in general. because I think this is important. When I ask my customers why they give me this money, whether it's a $100, $97 product or $30,000, they say, because you care and you want to help. I mean, they don't teach that in the marketing books, do they? Right? Okay, good. I'm seeing some really good numbers. 9, 10, 10, 10, 7, 2, 8, 7, 6, 8, 5, 7, 8, 10, 8, 5, 9, 8, 9, 7, 7, 6, 7, 6, 8, 10. Good. I bring this up because a lot of people, because this was me at least, this was me. I said, yeah, I know you gotta be of service and help people. And I would say to myself when I was just starting out, that's great. I'll do that once I got me covered, once I'm at a certain level, once I'm successful, once I've made a certain amount of money. And some of you, chances are if you're like 7 or below 7, that's kind of what you're saying. That's what I was saying. And I really, really want to tell you, no, that's backwards. Lead with service, authentic, genuine service, and the money will follow. Got it? Okay, let's do one more. When I ask myself, why do I think I've been successful by my own definition? I said, well, I focus on strategy and principles, the things that haven't changed. This industry has changed a ton in 10 years. I've seen people come and go like dying stars, right? And I'm still here. I don't focus on the latest, greatest tactic, but the things I've been doing today, I was doing several years ago. I'm far more concerned with strategy and principles. So where do you fall on this one? 0 means never. I never follow strategy and principle. 10 means yes, 100%. Ooh, good. All right. I'm just reading these as they come in. 10, 1, 10, 8, 8, 10, 5, 7, 9, 9, 9, 7, 7, 5, 9, 5, 7. A lot of 8s, some 5s. Cool. 4, 5, 7. Cool. All right. Great. Thank you guys for sharing. I appreciate that. All right, cool. So that's another thing to really look at. If you're really low on that scale, are you chasing the latest craze? Are you looking for the short-term quick win? Because I'm not. And I don't teach that, which is a challenge at times because I don't have the sizzle. I don't have the sexy new thing that's cool this week and gone next week. You know, so I don't get to be all flashy and spammy like, but I get to get my clients results. So I guess that's where it gets to be sexy, right? So hopefully you'll focus on the fundamental truths of marketing and of business, the stuff under the surface of the iceberg, while everyone else is just looking at the surface, right? Okay, cool. So thank you for doing that with me. I've never done that. I kind of came up with that before this webinar and I wanted to share that. So I'm going to teach for like 3 minutes here. So do have some notes out. You should definitely have some note paper out here. But I want to just teach at the strategic level for a minute. And then we're going to get into our hot seats. I wanted to give you guys some time to get your hot seats done and filled out and submitted to us. In fact, we've already picked our first one. Is that correct? Awesome. So we've already got our first victim. I got a good evil laugh. All right. So when I talk about strategy, I talk about the TLC method: traffic, leads, and customers, or traffic, leads, and consumers, or conversions. You get to use any C that you want. So it's not just tender loving care. It's traffic, leads, and customers. So at the end of the day, every single person on this call, if you own a business, want to start a business, grow or scale that business, these are the 3 areas in our marketing department that we focus on. And we don't focus on them individually or separately. We focus on them together sequentially in that order, TLC. You see, if you want more customers, you have to start with getting more traffic, right? You got to get more people to your stuff. And then once you get them to your stuff, like your website, your opt-in, your webinar, your landing page, whatever, you want to turn those visitors, those eyeballs, into leads, people on your email address. And it's from that point that we want to convert our leads into customers. Now, for some bizarre reason, this is almost too simplistic, and people really complicate this. So one of the things you're going to write down that you can always go back to when you're having a bad day, because we all have bad days, and say, James told me business is simple. All I need is a little TLC, right? Anything else is going to be just a big fat distraction. Now, go on. I'm talking about growth and marketing. I'm not talking about fulfilling on what you promised to your customers and delivering on what you said you would. But when it comes to growth, this is what we focus on. And I like to have a strategy for each of these. So we're going to talk about this a little bit more. But one of the things that I like to do is I like to take the lead circle and the customer circle and I combine them. And you're going to see how we do that. So instead of 3 circles, we now have 2 circles. We have a traffic plan. This is my entire business, by the way, guys. If you ask me, if you sat down in a coffee shop, got me a coffee, like a bulletproof coffee, I'd take a bulletproof. I'm going to say, all right, here's our business on a napkin. First of all, we get traffic, and then we have a sales system. Now, I break up my traffic into 2 strategies. If you guys have been following me for a while, you know this distinction. It's the tortoise and the hare. Now, even though the tortoise won that race, the hare was like still really fast, right? So this is my platform, is my tortoise strategy. This is our free organic traffic strategy. It's slower, but it's powerful. Platform like YouTube, a podcast, a Facebook group, right? A place where you can share content and engage with a community. That's your platform for free content. And then there's your paid traffic strategy, Facebook ads, retargeting, Instagram ads, LinkedIn ads, AdWords, YouTube ads. Even like JVs is considered paid ads, right? If you have JVs and affiliates because you're paying them to generate revenue. So there's how you get your traffic, and you send your traffic to your sales system. What's your sales system? It's a plan, a promotional plan that turns leads into customers. Traffic on the left, leads and sales on the right. It is that simple. So the left one is the left circle traffic becomes your pre-launch strategy. So by the way, I'm saying the same thing 3 different times. I'm just saying it 3 different ways so that 3 different types of people will get it, hopefully. Okay? So the traffic strategy is your pre-launch. This is where you warm up your audience. Your sales system is your launch, and it doesn't have to be a big launch. It doesn't have to be a video series. It doesn't even have to be a live launch. It's just a sales system. And then the relaunch is, hey, this worked, rinse and repeat. Now, that's a big thing. I won't spend too much time here, but that's a huge distinction that separates the boys from the men and the girls from the women, is that you really start to grow up from startup entrepreneur when we sit in the relaunch phase, because we're no longer looking for the newest, the latest, what works thing. We're building upon what's been proven, and we're creating momentum. Momentum is your friend, and that's how we do it in the relaunch. So this is exactly how Business by Design is laid out, by the way, the pre-launch, launch, and relaunch. Okay. Now, the last thing I'm going to show you, then we jump into our hot seats, is I kind of just drew a map here of how our business looks. The first thing, so if you were to say, like, how does your multiple 7-figure a year business look? Here it is right here on one piece of paper. I mean, it's a PowerPoint, but whatever. In my mind, it's a piece of paper. The first thing we do is we cast the biggest net possible, and that is with our platform. Now, the platform I have is a podcast. Do we have any MYB fans in the house? Mind your business. What? Mind your business. Just let me know. Awesome. Okay, so that's a podcast, right? Thank you guys for listening. So that's where we reach a new audience, and that's how we engage a community. Okay, and eventually I'm going to be starting a Facebook group for that. I'm very excited about that. That's another conversation. Now, a portion of those people, not all of them, but a portion of them will join an email list. In this type of business, you need to be focused on growing your email list. If you want to grow your business, focus on growing your email list, right? You go, well, how do you grow your email list? Well, you got your free platform, for us as a podcast, and your paid ads. Just focus on those 2. That's it. Okay, don't overcomplicate it. Now, a portion of those people will join our training programs like Business by Design. So not all of you, but some of you. And then a portion of those people, and this is what we teach inside the program is what we call the Ascension model. A portion of those people go on to join our 12-month coaching program, and then they graduate to our 6- and 7-figure earner Inner Circle Mastermind. That's a whole business. Okay. Once you can get that traffic and sales system down, you get to expand upon this. Okay, you guys get that? Is that helpful? Awesome. Thanks for all the listeners here today. Listen to 114 today. Was that with Jim Fortin? Is Jim Fortin's 114? So. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, here we go. We are starting with the hot seat experience. Yes, so I'm going to just leave this slide up. We have our first hot seat. I'm going to do my best to unmute this person. So who do I have? Okay. All right. So the first person is Shawn, SHAWN, the fitness guy. Fusion Fit Life. Shawn, are you on the line? Give me a second, guys. Go ahead and type in. Is it Shawn Taylor? Is it you, Shawn? Yes, it is. Okay. Yes. Wow. Okay. So just what you're going to do, Shawn, is type in a 1 if I can unmute you. Like, do you have a microphone on your computer? And hopefully, guys, you got to deal with technical stuff. Shawn, will you type in a 1 so I know that it's a yes to a microphone? Okay, perfect. All right, so give me a second, guys. I'm going to go find Shawn. We got a lot of people, big attendee list, so I've got to find him. Okay. Shawn, you're unmuted. Can you hear us? Can you guys hear him? Shawn. Can you guys hear Shawn? Is it just me? Okay, Shawn, if I can't, can you talk? Because we cannot hear you. Yeah, we can't. Yeah, no one can hear you, Shawn. I'm going to try for like 2 seconds, and then I don't know what to tell you. We might have to move on to another one. Can you just check a mic or something? Because I've unmuted you. Obviously, guys, I appreciate the patience while we deal with technology stuff with people all over the globe. Okay, Shawn, we're going to try if we can come back to you. Wait, are you there? Nope. Okay, I got to mute you. I got to move on. So I do have my next one. We're going to try and come back. If you can message me in the chats and see if maybe you got it figured out. I'm so sorry. That's such a bummer. And hopefully it's not on our end. We'll find out in a second. Okay, so here's our next one. Oh, I love this. Okay, this is a good niche. Okay, so I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm going to try my best. Raika, are you there? Go ahead and say yes if you are, and then type in a 1. And maybe I'm not saying your name. No, I know you're here. Raika? Yes. Okay, perfect. Okay, so Raika, I'm going to try unmuting you. Now, hopefully, we will not have a problem this time. Wait a second. Okay. There you go. Can you hear us, Raika?
I can hear you.
Yay!
Oh my god!
Raika, come on, don't embarrass yourself. They can hear you.
Oh, that's good. It will take a lot for me to be embarrassed.
I'm just kidding. How you doing?
I'm so excited. I've been following you for months now.
No,
yeah, I'm very excited. I mean, my voice is cracking, and I'm an opera singer. That's how excited I am.
Wow. Oh, that's awesome. My wife was an opera singer, and I've always asked her to try and break a glass with her voice, and she won't do it.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. I'm sure she knows that.
Okay, so here we go. We're going to get right into it. So first of all, Dating with Confidence.
Yes.
Coaching.com.
Yes.
Love it. Okay, so the question What is your biggest struggle or hurdle? I'm going to read what you wrote, and then I might,
Okay.
and then I might look for clarification, but we're just going to jump into it. Okay. So,
Yeah, go for it.
did I say your name properly? Right, Reika?
Yes, perfectly.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, I'm stuck with how to create group coaching programs where I do serve my clients who pay me. I want a year program and 1 to 2 shorter programs. I want to sell DIY products too. Okay, great. What is your biggest goal or desired outcome? Please be specific. I would love to get out of the one-on-one coaching and into group coaching. Fantastic. My biggest goal is to have a kick-ass year-round program and 1 to 2 6 to 8 week coaching programs. I'm really good with groups. Fantastic. Okay, guys, who here? This is real. This isn't just Reika by herself. It sounds like, and I just like to get a little notes up here. We're not alone. That we are doing one-on-one. Reika, oops.
Mm-hmm.
This. Who wants to spell check your name?
Oh.
No. Oh well. Okay. So who else here is doing one-to-one coaching, and you want to get into leveraged content or leverage coaching? Is that what it sounds like you're up to creating, right?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Here's where we like to start. Now, what happens, which I really love doing it this way, is a lot of people, and this is what you're doing. You're approaching it from this angle, and we're going to try a new angle to approach this from. Okay, so
Okay.
And what I'm going to look for, and you guys are going to pay close attention to this, and you can follow along with the exercises that I'm giving Reika, is that right now you're trying to create from circumstances rather than your possibilities, rather than what you really want as results and outcomes in your life. So if 2018 was a home run, successful year for you financially, what number would that be? And I want you to notice where your mind gets, what's realistic? What's reasonable? This isn't a goal. I'm just asking a simple question. If 2018 was a home run breakthrough year for you, what would that number be for you?
It's very interesting. The first thing that came to my mind was be realistic, and then I kind of like corrected myself. I was like, bullshit. I don't want to be realistic. So I would say 120.
120,000.
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay. Well done. So that's a good number. Okay. So
and I'm nowhere near that.
But that's where, notice where your mind is going. You already want to say
no. I just wanted you to know that. Since you don't know my business.
I don't need to know that.
Okay.
All I need to know is that do you help women or men?
Only women.
Only women. Do you make a big impact in their lives?
Huge.
Do you have confidence in your ability to help serve and transform their lives?
Yeah, 100%.
Nothing else matters then.
Okay.
You got that?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, you guys got that as well? We're creating first from our outcome, because I could give all these cool answers and try and impress Reika and you guys with some smart stuff, but it doesn't matter if it doesn't align with where Reika is going. So we always start with a vision. We always start with the direction, even if the direction we're going is north or south or east or west, even if you don't know specifically. Look, Reika wants to have a 6-figure year doing leveraged coaching. So now I know the direction she's going in. Okay, fantastic. The next thing, we're going to do 2 things. First of all, we're going to do something called the non-negotiables.
Mm-hmm.
What are the hell no's for you? Like, what are the things that, if not trying to be realistic, but if you waved the magic wand around this perfect breakthrough year, what are the things that you didn't do to create this revenue? Now, there are some unspoken ones, like obviously you didn't rob a bank to get this money. You didn't do anything illegal. Those ones are a no-brainer. But are there other things? Like, I didn't do any one-on-one at all. Is there anything like that?
So I guess I'm trying to understand your question. Your question is, what's a way that I will not choose to create my biggest dream?
Yes. What are the expenses the costs that you're not willing to pay?
Gotcha. Okay. Driving myself crazy, because I have a tendency to do that.
But why? What drives you crazy?
Meaning like working till 1 o'clock in the morning and then getting
Thank
up
you.
at six
Okay.
o'clock.
So, no more than how many hours a day?
I'm just not willing to work 16 hours a day.
Okay, but like, can we do? 'Cause, you know, you can do this business in 8 hours a day.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
That's reasonable. So
Okay. So
yeah,
when
I
you're
mean,
working,
and considering that I'm also a full-time professional opera singer. So what not, so
amazing.
I guess my second one would be that I will absolutely not sacrifice anything about my singing career.
Will no time sacrificed from? I know I'm doing typos, but you know, from
That's okay.
opera. Okay. Now, in these long hours when it's not opera, what are the thing? Are there some of those tasks during that time that's really taking away from you? Like yeah, I keep having to do all these one-on-ones, or I have to do all this type of work, or
Yes.
what it.
Yes, the one-on-one definitely takes a lot of time away from me.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I'm getting, I guess I'm getting good at delegation. I'm sure there's a lot of time for me there's a lot of space for me to improve in that department.
Yes.
Because I do have a VA and I do outsource to Philippines and all of that. But what I get stuck mostly is stuck in the planning of things, which is why your program was it's something that I'm considering.
Now, what do you mean by planning? Like planning a launch, or like, are you talking about like planning your
Yes.
day?
No. I'm very good at organizational stuff and system. I'm very disciplined, thank God, because of the opera training.
Yeah.
But I don't know when I want to do the only launch I know how to do is Zach Spuckler's challenge launch. That's all I know. And I did it down to the nitty-gritty that he taught, and I got results.
Awesome. Okay, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about those results really quickly, if you don't mind. So you did a challenge.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
What happened there? What'd you offer,
so,
and how much you generate?
I did it. That's where I was stuck. I didn't know what my next offer is going to be, so I kind of like whipped some group coaching course together. I did a really horrible job at the sales because I wasn't very confident as to. I didn't know how it really looked like, but I still seized the opportunity to sign up 2 private clients. So my goal was to make 10K from it. It was my first challenge, and I made 7K.
Okay, and so do you beat yourself up a lot? Is that normal, or just in this launch?
In this launch, I was stressed out. I actually, at the end of it, I wasn't beating myself. I was like, "Good job, you kind of got resourceful. Yeah, you didn't sell the group coaching course because you don't know what the hell you're doing."
Oh, okay. So the group coaching didn't sell at all, but you were able to get the one-on-one clients.
Yeah. I mean, I just was like, "Screw it, I'm going to go after them for one-on-one because I don't know what I'm doing."
How many people went through the challenge off the top of your head? Do you remember?
Yes, I knew exactly. 147.
Okay.
About 98 of them showed up in the Facebook Live system that he teaches.
Yep.
And about, I would say 15 of them showed up to the last webinar.
Fantastic. Okay. So this gives me a lot as well. So assuming that the one-on-one client is like a $3,500 kind of.
That's correct. Yes.
Fantastic. What was the price of the group coaching?
It was exactly like Zach. So it was $997. For 6 months, or 197, 6 payments of 197.
Okay. Now, have you done an exit survey to those people?
No, I learned way afterwards that that's something I could have done. So yes. I now know better.
Yes. So that's the first thing, because like one of the things that I want to draw the line between is speculation. Those 147 people will give you far more data and insight and breakthrough than I could ever give you, because they're going to tell you why they didn't buy. They're going to tell you why they went through everything, fell in love with everything you had to say, and still didn't buy. And I have some ideas that I'm going to throw at you, but guys, everybody, make sure you're doing your exit surveys, you're doing your research, not just before you launch, but after. It's so much more valuable. And thank you to anybody here who's ever filled out an exit survey to me, because it just helps us so much. Okay, so now let's just role play some stuff, guys. So you guys following along, you created your goal for either the year, the quarter, whatever, and you created some non-negotiables. Now, we also got from Reika some additional info that helped a lot, but let's just break this out. How could you generate this $120,000 next year? Now I have a calculator, so I can do the math, but why don't you give me a scenario? Where can this 120,000 come from?
That's where I freeze, James.
Well,
Like I literally right now my blood just froze in my body.
I got that. Fantastic. That's you're on a hot seat, and you're not alone. People do that all the time. So
Okay.
let's start with this.
Mm-hmm.
You could now. You could. I'm not saying do this. I'm just saying you could sell 120 group coaching spots. That's going to get you at the 997 that you've created, right? That's 120K. Okay. So let me put that down. Now this is important, guys, because what you want to do, what most people do, is they create from what they think. What's the product? What's the offer? What's the price? Versus creating from the outcome, and that's what we're doing. Okay. So I understand that you freeze, but if you really look at it, I'm just asking you to do some math. Right?
Okay, I'm with you. Yeah.
So that's it. I'm not saying like give me the answer. I'm just saying, hey, pick a number and divide, and let's see what we come up with. Right now, you can also do 240 at 497. Right, and we could come up with a myriad. You could say, I want to do this retreat, and I'm willing to take on a few clients separately throughout the year. So let's take off. If you do 7,000 a quarter, 7, 14, 21, 28,000, you could take 28,000. So now you're only going to need like 100 coaching. So you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of different ways you could start to work this. But one of the things that I like to do is break everything into quarters. And I'm just going to do a new piece of paper here. Is to break everything into 4 quarters. And we like to do, and this is for everybody, I think most people can handle 1 promo a quarter. So which one resonates with you more? The 497 or the 997?
Can I tell you none?
Yes, you can. Of course you can. We don't have to choose that offer. I'm not saying do it, but go ahead and expand on that.
Okay. So my biggest fear for group coaching, and because I don't have experience doing it, except for like a few Q&A calls, is that if I take 120 people in my group coaching program where I'm really walking them through finding love and then teaching them, how to talk and communicate and this, that, and the other, how is it possible that I can actually serve 120 people on one coaching call when they're paying me so much?
Got it. Okay, fantastic. Now, look, guys, this is really important. So I'm going to work you through this because I hear that a lot. Now, what's very funny is that I've never personally dealt with this because I started with courses in group coaching and have gone and since elevated to, I went to one-on-one and then I did group, and then we do a mastermind where it's very intimate, small amount of people. And the more intimate I got, 2 things happened. Number 1, the results increased, right? And number 2, the price went up. So it was a lot easier for me to move in that direction because the more I moved in that direction, the more impact I saw myself making and the more money I was making. But it was also a bigger time. Now, you're already at that finish line. You already have one-on-one clients paying you a lot of money. So you actually have to go in the reverse direction, which is why this is a little challenging. So you think that someone who gets a course or a group coaching is supposed to have the exact same experience as someone who works with you one-on-one, and you're trying to overlay that in some way in a group coaching or course level, and that's it's an almost, I don't like to say impossible too often, but that's a pretty hard thing to do. And I think what we need to do is just reframe that. Are you getting what I'm throwing out at you?
Yeah, so basically people who sign up, let's say if I'm offering 1 content call a month and 1 coaching call a month, not everybody will get to talk to me in that coaching call.
That's half of what I'm saying and half not. What I'm let's look at it this way. And this is for everybody, guys. If I want to get the biggest transformation in the realm of relationships with you, and I'm a female, I've got to fork over $3,500. Am I right? Okay. Yes. Do you know how many people that you are denying help because you don't have anything else to offer them at a more accessible price?
Absolutely. That's exactly why I want to do group coaching.
Okay, now let me ask you this. I sell a $25,000 mastermind and a $2,000 course. Where's someone going to get a bigger transformation, the course or the mastermind?
The mastermind.
Right. But it's not going to stop me from selling the course. Why? Because the people that get the most results out of the course end up joining the mastermind. So another way to look at this is, can you create a program that gives them the foundation, that gives them the first steps, so that they go, oh my gosh, this is the most amazing stuff. Reika, you're blowing my mind. I want to work with you at a more intimate level. And you turn your one-on-one into some sort of hybrid where you have one-on-one sessions and then they meet together in some sort of mastermind or retreat or live experience in person. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you could have a $497 to $997 type group program that's like, this is the foundation, where I really work with my clients at the deepest level is, in this XYZ awesome program, and the price is still like $3,500, but you turn it into more of a small intimate group. But the do it yourself, the DIY or the virtual group coaching is a fraction of that to get their feet wet. Because you can still, and you don't, it's going to be up to you whether you believe me or not. It's going to be up to you whether you agree with me or not, but you can still make an impact at the group coaching level. It's just not going to be at the level that you're used to when you work one-on-one.
No, totally makes sense. Everything you're saying makes sense. I think what comes up for me is I have never been an educator in a sense, like how to set things in a way where it's like, this is the first step, and how do I word it so it makes sense? Like that's where my mind is going right now.
That's what's really going on, is you're going to have to figure out a way, and that's another coaching. That's another hot seat, right?
Sure.
You're going to have to figure out a way to create a curriculum around your coaching. Because I get it.
Yeah, curriculum. Exactly. That's the word I was looking for.
Yes, you're really good. Your sweet spot's in the coaching. I totally get it. Like, look, I don't have a curriculum right now when we're talking. I get it. But you're going to have to find a way. You could talk to past, students and clients and say, like, what are the foundational, fundamental things that, you would think would help you learn? What are the questions you have? And you could just turn those questions into different videos. Like, there's ways to do it, but I promise you, you can create a program. I do think, it depends on the offer here, but I'm really liking a lower price because in the relationship space, $997 is a lot. And I think someone who's going to pay $997 to figure out their love life can also pay for this higher program. So
yes,
I if it were up to me, because I do want to move on, guys. So Rachel, we're gonna like wrap this up in like 30 seconds.
Sure.
Here's what I would do. I'm not saying do this. I'm saying here's what James would do if this were his business. But I would have this coaching, and then I would have this, like, I would either have some sort of like VIP retreat experience where you're still charging, and you may want to even raise the price, but plus $3,000 a person, and you're putting like 7 to 12 people in that program where it's a combination of one-on-one and group. Look, we've done, and I say we, like my wife and I have done a lot of transformational work where we're in a small in-person group retreat experience. And when they have that bonding, that understanding, that compassion amongst each other, that's just a whole other level. And then they get to experience fun things together, and you have the opportunity to facilitate that versus you and them on a phone call, for an hour once a week or whatever it is. I just think you can bring this to life in a whole nother way and do less coaching because the collective of the group is there to support each other. So if you did this, you wouldn't need, let's say I'm not going to do the math exactly, but let's say you brought this down to 20, because this is still going to bring you some revenue. But what you realize is that if you just did 4 promotions, you only need 50 people in each group coaching each time, each quarter, right? I know it says quarter one 4 times, but it's quarter one, two, three.
Yeah, I get you. I get you.
So
So
now it's not that big of a, huge, oh my gosh, how am I going to get 200 people, right?
yeah, that makes so much more sense now. So I have a question for you. Is that what we will learn in your course?
Yes. And what specifically were you referring to when you said that?
Correct. Would your systems also include teaching curriculum?
we have a bonus. It's called Course in a Weekend, and I do help you flush out the like how to create the course. But I'm going to help you in the group if they're like got sticking points and stuff like that on how to actually take your knowledge that you've been probably doing a lot, just like at that unconscious competence level, right?
Yes.
Okay, how do we put that into, sequential teaching how-to videos?
Yes.
But yeah, we do. We have a bonus in there called Course in a Weekend that really helps with the students on that. But this is how you could hit your goals with 2 offers. This entry level program at about $497. I wouldn't make that program longer than like 6 to 8 weeks though, because you want to be able to jump into the next one in the next quarter. Does that make sense?
I got you. Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Look, a lot of times, guys, we try and create this product that's going to solve the world of their problems, like everything. And look, I'm guilty of that as well. And you'll notice that inside the members area, there's like everything you need in there. But what if you just solve this one problem, right? Like got them started with this, got them on that right direction. And then you say, okay, and we're going to work together over a longer period of time in this program. And you could literally at the end of it, you could invite them to join this VIP retreat or mastermind, whatever you'd want to call it, the higher level, so they can work with you at that level. And you could even do something where they apply the price they've paid for this towards that.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Like you could, I'll even take $497 off the price of that because, I'm just going to apply what you've paid for this into that next program. And I think that's going to be a lot easier to go to that. I think you're going to be surprised. I think you're going to be excited to see that a lot of members will go through that 6-week training with you, virtual group coaching, and they'll want to keep going. And that's how they continue working with you, is in that program. So that's one way.
This.
Yeah, I mean, that's one way you could do it. And this is where people get stuck, guys, is they're looking for the one way, they're looking for the right way. And we could sit here, we could do this call again from scratch and come up with a completely different plan. And so what makes the plan right for anybody is based on their goals, their values, their non-negotiables. And so those are the things to always keep in mind is, if you've got a full, day with your career as an opera singer, you got to be really mindful on what you're willing to do and not do. And that's important. So I hope this has been beneficial and you've gotten some.
Oh my God. It was aha all around. I mean, wow. This really gave me a lot of clarity. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Let's see. Hold on just a second. Guys, was this beneficial for you guys as well listening in? I'm really curious. Like, did you have an aha or see any value for yourself? Was it relevant to you? Because I can guarantee, Reika, you're not alone here. But thank you. I wish we could go longer. I talked 2 hours to you about how we can flush out this coaching and turn it into a course. Because I'm a teacher by heart, so I know how to do that.
I know. I'm like, how can I talk to you later?
Yeah, no, I totally get it. But I want to keep going. So, Reika, thank you again for being courageous and sharing with us so openly. I truly appreciate it. I'm totally committed to you crushing your 2018 goal of 120,000 with your group coaching program. And if you want to do something higher level, like we talked about, I think that's amazing too. And you've got a room full of people to hold you accountable as well. So
thank you so much. I definitely want to be in touch with you. So I'll just shoot you an email or something and somehow get your attention.
Okay, I'm going to mute you right now and we're going to hop back. Let me check the group. Okay, guys, was this? Yes. Okay, tons of great feedback. Yes, this was a great, amazing, awesome. Wow, answered some of my questions. Love the concept. Yes, fantastic. Okay, guys, here's the deal. This is taking a little bit of time, right? So I did promise that before the top of the hour, and it's 555. Look, we got 444 and 555. Look at that. That I was going to talk about Business by Design because I know we've got a lot of people that are sitting there on the edge, ready to hit the buy button. So I want to talk about it for just a moment. Then we're just going to jump into more hot seats. Now, I'm a machine, and I'll just keep going and going and going. So, stick around and let's do some hot seats. We've actually got some lined up. So it might be you. And if you haven't filled out a hot seat, let me give you that link one more time. Okay. jameswilmer.com/hot seats. Okay. So I talked about this. We did some hot seat. Let me go into this. So I kind of talked about this before. 3 phases of launching. The pre-launch builds your audience. The launch introduces your sales machine that turns leads into customers. And then you relaunch. That's where you build momentum. Okay? So let's see here. I'm going to go over these 3 phases really quickly because this is how we break down the training inside Business by Design. First of all, in the pre-launch phase, we cover 4 things. How to identify your market, how to identify their problems, and how to identify the perfect offer to present. This is where everything can go wrong for so many people, right? Then how to attract the right people, how to build your list, how to build a community, how to build your audience, and then how to really find out. This is how you get all your copy, how to really find out what they're struggling with, what they're going through several different types of surveys that I do. And then we do the create phase. This is creating your actual product, your offer, what you're going to sell. Now, in the launch phase, once you've done all that, you're ready to put it out there. Now, the word launch has gotten pretty yucky for people, which I don't like. The launch, all launches to me, guys, is presenting your offer to somebody. Okay? Doesn't need to be a bunch of videos. It doesn't mean to be this huge, stressful, crazy thing. It doesn't. This summer, over 4th of July, we did a launch, and I'm using air quotes when I do that. There was no Facebook ads. There was no videos. It was only emails. And we sold a $300 product. We did almost $70,000 with no spend, no videos, no fancy production. Well, that's what I'm talking about, right? So inside Business by Design, we have over 11 different styles of launching promotions, whether it's a webinar, a challenge, emails, whatever. Holograms. I wish if there was hologram launches, we'd do those, right? Then I show you how to, my 5-step planning framework, right? I show you how to set it all up, and then you just do the work because we give you the processes, okay? Then the relaunch phase, guys, this is so important. I tell my mastermind members every time we meet, I say the magic is in the debrief. The magic is in the debrief. All the momentum gets built from this point on. How to debrief, extract the data. You're going to learn what the data means. You're going to start to see what needs to be seen and what can be ignored. A lot of people come to me with these false interpretations. Oh, my launch sucked or it didn't work, whatever. And then I go look at the numbers. I'm like, what are you talking about? Here's this opportunity. There's that possibility. This is what you need to be focusing on. Okay. And then you can start to automate everything. Okay. So that's pretty much how we've structured the program. Is this making sense? Yes or yes. Now, you can make things really simple. And I like to say, like I said before, business is simple, but we still get stuck. So why? What do you guys think? All right. I think from what I've seen, what I've heard, whether we're doing a survey or talking to a customer on the phone or meeting them in person at our live events, we're all waiting for permission. Now, if that's you, then you and I have a lot in common. And it's kind of the culture we were brought up in, at least for the US, right? You got to raise your hand as a kid just to go to the bathroom. Does anyone ever think that's weird? Am I the only one to think that's weird? That in order to go to the bathroom, you got to raise your hand? Our whole life, we're trained. You got to ask for permission. You got to do what you're told. You got to follow the directions. And then you'll be a good lad. Good boy or a good girl. Entrepreneurship is the exact opposite of that. Yet we're sitting there like a good little employee waiting for permission. Permission to launch, permission to create, permission to sell, permission to be the expert. Oh, someone else is already doing it. Do you think there's some mayor of your marketplace that's going to come knock on your door and give you a certification of authority? Congratulations, you are now the authority of the marketplace. You have our permission. It's never going to happen. You'll never get it. Now, if that disappoints you, I've got good news, because you don't need it. No one gave me permission. In fact, there's a lot of people out there that do not like what I'm doing. I think I threaten a lot of people out there. Those quote unquote competitors. Now, I don't see them as competitors. I'm always about collaboration over competition, but news gets back to me. So I heard, right? But no one gave me permission. I gave myself permission, and you can do the same thing. And you don't have to do it tomorrow or the next day or next year, but you can do it right now. Okay. So I hope you do. Now, enrollment is opened to Business by Design. I want to talk about it. We're going to bring up the link. I'll actually just put it in there right now. So hopefully you guys will be cool with a few minutes. And then we're going to jump back into hot seats. Okay. I know they take a little bit of time, but whatever. We're going to keep going. Rock and roll. Hot seat marathon. businessbydesign.training.net/join. We put it in the chat box. Okay. You guys can bring up that fancy. Oh yeah. There should be a www dot in there. Yeah. That would make sure it works. Okay. So I said this before, there's a serious epidemic plaguing our industry. I see it all the time. Entrepreneurs are stressed to the max. They're overwhelmed. They're out of time. And then someone says you're not working hard enough. You got to hustle your face off. And you're not on this tool. And if you're not using this, your business is going to die. It's all a lie. And it's time for us to wake up. You do not have to be the martyr to your marketplace to be successful. It's not survival of the hustlist. Survival of the sacrificed the most. It's not how it works. Okay. I'm all about working smarter, not harder. And I know you guys are as well, right? It's about working on your business, running from processes, because processes, as you already know, will make your progress easier and quicker. And look, progress is what you're after, because if you don't get a sense of progress, the passion starts to wane. And when you don't have the passion, you don't have the energy. When you don't have the energy, you burn out, you break down, or you give up. And the only way to truly fail in this business, which 90% of businesses do fail, is giving up. So progress is the lifeblood of your business. We're going to show you how to launch like your customers' lives depended on it. Get your stuff out to the world. Now, if you'd like my help, that's what Business by Design is all about. This is the exact process maps and execution guides for creating and launching your digital program so you can see results faster. I created these for my team. I have a non-marketing, non-tech experienced team, and they run my launches because they follow directions. It's that simple. So here's a little bit about how it works. I'm going to go as quickly as I can because there's a lot inside this program waiting for you. However, there's only 4 simple modules of training. Each training video includes a detailed process. Okay, instead of just a bunch of, here, you should do this and do that. I did the instruction manual for you. You can either follow it or hand it off to your team or your virtual assistant. Okay, then I give you 11 different launch or promotional plans that you can follow step by step by completion. No more guessing. And I've processized and invented a word, the creation of all your essential marketing assets. All right, so here are the modules really quick. This first module is my favorite because this is all about how to actually create your business by design. I take you through a series of exercises and training on how to get into the visionary driver seat or architect role of your business so you can create a clear, structured vision, a map. So I have a map of my business. Do you have a map of your business? Do you have goals and do you have a plan to hit those goals? Do you know what numbers you need to have across the board to hit those goals? That's what we call metrics that matter. And I take you through a series of powerful exercises to make sure you get total clarity around your business. Then we get to work on the marketing and launching. The pre-launch phase, I take you through all of this. Identify, attract, listen, and create. We went over this already. And then the launch phase, which I said, I show you how to master a flawless launch. And you get to pick from 11 different styles of launching. So it's not this like cookie cutter, one size fits all. And then the relaunch phase, which is all about the debrief, the relaunch, and automating the whole darn thing. Now, it's all built around processes. Here's some screenshots. You can start to see these are all step by step training manuals for all the essential things that tend to get most people frustrated or overwhelmed. It's all done, mapped out, so you can hand it off to people on your team and you can remain in the architecture role. We have a process for creating your next webinar, a process for creating the perfect sales page, a process for creating email sequences, follow-up campaigns, invitation campaigns, a process for crafting your perfect offer, and many, many more. I'll get to them in a moment. All right, what's the price? Well, look, you don't have to get this program to get my help. I told you before, I got a $25K mastermind. I have a VIP day for $15,000. But this is by far, hands down, the most cost-effective way that we can work together to create a breakthrough in your business. And it's just $397 today. It's a no-brainer. Business by Design is $2,000. Or you can do the 6-pay option, 6 installments of $397. That's $397 today. And then 5 additional installments automatically billed every 30 days. I've also got a bonus for those of you guys who are here on the call, so we'll talk about that in a moment. Now, I'm here to answer any questions about this in a moment, but we decided to put our 12-month coaching on the page as well. But let's see. I don't think I'm going to chat about that tonight unless you guys have questions, but we do have a 12-month coaching program as well. And if you're on the sales page, you can click the join now button. There'll actually be a little video telling you about that. So I don't want to spend any time talking about it here unless you guys have questions. Okay, really quickly, guarantee. We're doing something crazy because I like to do crazy. Some people do a 30-day guarantee. Other people do a 90-day. Some people do 365-day. So I'm doing lifetime. You have a lifetime guarantee with this product. I figured if I really want to serve and really help people, putting some like 30-day countdown timer isn't really serving. Now, there is a contingency here. You get lifetime. Now, I don't know if it's your lifetime or my lifetime. Right? I didn't define that. So, I can't guarantee how long my life's going to be, but hopefully very long. There is a contingency here. I do require, and this is down here at the bottom, you're going to have to complete the course. You're going to have to either attend the coaching calls or watch the replays, which will all be available to you. There's 4 of them. And submit a debrief, which we teach you how to do from any one of the strategies that we teach in the program. And I'm serious about this, okay? Because people, for some strange reason, wonder why they buy a course, don't go through it, and refund it to buy another one, and why they're not getting results. There are actually people that don't understand why that strategy doesn't work. So I'm not concerned with the number of sales I get. I'm concerned with the number of students that get extraordinary results. If you're not interested in that, if you're a serial refunder, if you're one of those people that just buys every course and then refunds that one so you can get the next one, this is not a right fit for you at all. You're not in the right room. Okay? And we're pretty adamant about that. And you should be too. You shouldn't be doing that. Okay? Especially, like, this is the saddest part that people don't get. Guys, Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. I say, be the customer you want to have in your business. Now, what do you think that means? Be the customer that you want to have in your business. Anybody here who's already selling programs, how much of a bummer is it going to be when you get a refund? Yeah, if you're going around refunding other people's stuff, it's very hypocritical. Be the customer you want to see in your business. Okay. Going to throw some amazing bonuses your way. Obviously, you get lifetime access to our amazing member community. We have a training called Course in a Weekend. Shows you how to flush out your course, just like I spoke about on our hot seat. We're doing 4 live group coaching calls. Guys, I know we only got to one right now. They took longer than I wanted to, but I want to do more with you. So if you'll hang around, let's do more. Okay, but they take a while. Sometimes they go long. But we're going to do 4 of these together. So this is an opportunity to do even more with us inside the program. Okay. 8 marketing resources. I've listed them all here. So if you want to take a screenshot, I've got a pre-made webinar template. I've got an entire pre-made sales page template, your checkout page template, how to create an upsell. We've got a bunch of cool software discounts and recommendations, which we'll talk about on the next page. How to create a wait list, which is part of a strategy we teach. How to create your follow-up sequence for your open cart. And a process for how to pitch anything. I've also got a bunch of cool trials to essential software that we recommend. Like we got a fancy 15% off Kajabi, 20% off the project management software we use and recommend called Depulse, 2 months of Deadline Funnel, which is another software, and a really cool strategy for how to get testimonials in your business. Whew, a lot of stuff. Gotta love it. And let's do this. We got a today only bonus, Absolute Automation. I'm giving you the campaign that we run that generates between $1,000 to $2,000 a day on autopilot. You see the map down there at the bottom. We walk you through the whole thing. It's pretty cool. You're going to like that. That is available until midnight tonight. So you guys are going to want to make sure you sign up before midnight. Now, here's what I'd like to do. I would like to take a few minutes of questions, and then I don't know. We can do more. We can do some more hot seats if people are down. Let's see if any questions will come up. Otherwise, if you have questions, let's do a few minutes of those, and then more hot seats. Because look, I know, like, I appreciate you guys just giving me a little time here. Okay, Jackie, nice to see you. Dominique says, is BBD for someone who has already created their online course? It sounds like the value is what to do once your course is developed. Great question. I want to talk about that. Okay. So is it for people who have already created the course or not? We have a process inside the program called monetize before you make it. It is very controversial. It's very controversial. A lot of people go, gasp. But everyone who does it thanks me for teaching it. The whole process is as simple as pitching a virtual boot camp to your audience and inviting them to be founding members and create the product together. And it works so freaking well, and I take you through the whole thing. So if you don't have your course yet, that's the best way to get your course created. Get paid first to create the content. So I recommend that for anybody. Okay, so I hope that answers it. Joe says, is the 12-month coaching different from the mastermind? Yes. I'll answer that really quickly. So the mastermind is an application-only program. It's $25,000 to $30,000, depending on if you do payment plan or pay in full. The mastermind, everyone has to be at a multiple six-figure level. So it's $250,000 as your previous year revenue. Or if you're year to date this year, that's fine. That's the mastermind. The next level program does not have the application. There's not a minimum revenue requirement, but it's still 12 months. And it's 2 live events in person. And we do monthly group coaching calls, hot seats like this. You're also going to get a strategy session with me. We have group outside experts and faculty members that come in and stuff like that. So it's just going to get you the results that you want faster because you're going to get the coaching, the hot seats, the accountability, and the support that you need. But yes, it is different than the mastermind. A lot of our next level people graduate to then join the mastermind. Karen says, is this only for digital products? Could what you offer help someone with a different kind of business? I own a wholesale bakery, and I'm looking to figure out how to grow to become a national company. Okay, it's a great question, Karen. Here's my answer. Could it help? Yes. Did I design it for any business other than people who sell information or content? No. So in an ideal world, I'm going to say it's not a right fit for you because I get really specific with focusing on digital product businesses, whether it's a membership, a course, live events, retreats, workshop, group coaching, even one-on-one or masterminds. That's where our focus is. Would you learn something? Would you get an ROI on your investment? Would you make money from it? Like, I'm not going to promise anything, but you'd see value. Absolutely. But there's probably more relevant programs out there that you would like more. And I don't want someone disappointed in the program. So I'm just being straight up and honest with you. Let's see. Christy said, I was actually told if I don't hustle, it'll never happen. Yeah. Okay. Michelle says, in terms of ROI, what is a realistic time frame from joining BBD and sales of your launch before you make digital, before you make your digital product? I can't answer that because I've had people do it. I've had, who was it? It was Melanie Bundock. I think she made her money back in 2 days. She launched it within a couple days, but I think she had a week open cart and she made her money back within the first 2 weeks. And then I've had people that have had the program for a year and haven't done anything with it. So there's no realistic time frame. There's no expectation. I've had people jump in and do something the next day, and I've had people jump in and never do anything with it. So I can never answer that question, unfortunately, and I know you want an answer. Yeah. Oh, Sean says I got BBD 6 months ago. Is this the same? Is the same course? Oh yeah, it's the same program, man. You're in, dude. You got it. You got it. Upgrade to next level, and let's get to work. Let's see. How often do you run this program? This will be the last time for this year, and then we are looking to open the doors sometimes Q2, Q3 next year. Let's see. I'm going to do one more question here, and then I'd love to do more hot seats. This is from John. He says, I'd love to build a chocolate membership site. That's amazing. But also to create a course to help small business owners and entrepreneurs. I'm really stuck on the one I should do first, or can I create both? Great question. You already know I'm going to say don't do both at the same time, right, John? Because you watched the bridge analogy video. You got to start with one. Now, who else here feels like that? They've got like this indecision, like, should I do this project or that project? Now, I've got two things to say. The first thing is I firmly believe that the real work is in putting full faith into or backing whatever decision you do make. Can you go all in on whatever you choose? Or as soon as you say, okay, I'll try this one, you're like, oh, I don't know if I really should have done this. Are you regretting it every step of the way? I believe today, the way I operate is that whatever I decide, it doesn't matter nearly as much as the commitment behind it. Right? So the real question is whatever one you choose, are you willing to go all in on either one of them? And so here's the other test I do is I say, imagine both of them were a wild success. Imagine both of them, John, were wildly successful. If you knew they were both going to be successful, which one would you start with? And that's your answer. But I wouldn't know. I know I totally get you want me to give you the answer, but I'll never give you the answer because I don't know. And how would you really know until you do it? How would anyone really know? I mean, we can all give our advice and suggestions, but no one will know until you do it. Okay. Little beatboxing. Can we do another hot seat? Okay. You guys cool with doing another hot seat? Thank you for letting me talk about our program. We're really excited about it. And I'm also really excited about doing some hot seats. So we'll leave that up for a few minutes. We'll jump into a hot seat. Okay, is Tamiko still on the line, or is it Tamiko Kelly? Let's just type in a yes and a 1. Yes if you're here, and then a 1 if you have a mic. And yes, Tamiko. Okay, so the yes and the 1 means you're going to get unmuted. Let's see. Hold on. What did I do here? Let's bring up a blank slide. I'm going to go back here. Okay, hold on. I'm going to unmute you in just a second. I like to have my little thing. Okay. Tamiko. I got to find you in here. Okay. I'm unmuting you right now. Get ready. Okay, you're live. Tamiko, can you hear us?
Hey, I can hear you. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me? Is the question.
Oh
Am I
yeah, loud
clear?
and
Am I
clear.
loud and
Let's see if
clear?
everyone else.
Okay.
Can you guys type in like a quick Y? If wait, where'd my little chat box go? Let me find my chat box. There it is. Okay, I love it. I said type in a Y, and we got people typing in WHY. Amazing. Yes, that works. You can hear me. You can hear me. Cool. Okay. I haven't even looked at your form yet. It was just put in front of me, so I'm gonna read it. Oh my goodness. I love your niche. Where are you based out of?
I'm based out of Austin.
Oh my God. I was just there like a week and a half ago.
Oh,
Okay.
yay.
So why don't you tell everyone what you do?
So I help tired mamas feel like themselves again by teaching them how to get their baby sleeping through the night.
My sister has he's almost 2 now, like 22 months. And she hired a sleeping coach when he was about a year,
Yay.
Maybe less than a year. I can't remember the exact age, but she said like they were really resistant to it. I'm sure you have a lot of clients that are like resistant, right?
Yes, I do. Absolutely.
And then they're like, this was amazing. This was incredible. It changed their life.
Yes.
Finally got to sleep full nights.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally life-changing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally, yeah.
Okay. So let me read your question. So we asked Tamiko, what's your biggest struggle? And here's what she said. I have a baby sleep training program, the Feel Like Yourself Again baby sleep solution, which I've sold fairly well. Now I'm at a point in business where I'd like to scale and do a formal launch, but I'm really confused on how to execute properly. Okay? We're gonna work on that. But let's look at your biggest goal. I would like to have a $20,000 launch, serve my mamas, and then put my course on autopilot. Fantastic. Okay. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna throw out a random idea. I just have a thought first.
Okay.
And you can totally reject it or whatever. I love the name, the baby sleep solution. And okay. I don't, in my opinion, like, I'm just gonna say it straight. I don't think it needs the Feel Like Yourself again. I think it's
the portion. Okay.
The baby sleep solution, and then the tagline is, it's not even Feel Like Yourself again. It's like feel. Remember what a full night's sleep feels like again. You know, like that's finally get a full night's sleep again. But I think you can shorten it. I think it's really simple. Like I really get that everyone's like, you know, you gotta tap into the emotional, and you will. But I know what the baby sleep solution. I got it. I know what you're doing there. So I don't. That's just an idea. That's not going to break anything. Those are
right.
Little mini things. Like you could call it the really cool, awesome baby sleep solution, and it would stay well.
Right.
So
yeah. So I actually surveyed my people, and they helped me name it. So that's the name that we all came up with.
I totally.
I mean, again.
But I like it.
I mean, again, to your point,
I do a tagline. Okay. So look.
Yes.
$20K launch. So what's the price point?
It's $497.
Fantastic. And that would mean, wait, I gotta get is that so sad that I have to do the math on that? I'm gonna do, look, I'll do divided by 497, okay, versus 500. So,
right. And then just so you know, I also offer a VIP auction for $997 where they can actually chat with me. Yeah.
And okay, so we've also got $997. I love that. Okay, so VIP. Okay, so you'd have to sell 41 units, but obviously not as many of that if you have the $997 option. Okay, wonderful. So take me through in a nutshell what has worked so far. You said you've already had this program, you already got customers. So what has worked?
What has worked is I do events here in Austin, but also I have an email list. I've done webinars. I have a large Facebook audience, so I'm doing just videos, value-added videos, and then leading them to the actual course from there has worked.
Okay.
But it's just now I'm at a point in my business where it's time to scale. Basically, I also offer slumber parties where I actually go to people's homes and do the same process that I'm teaching them in Flyer.
Oh my
and
I had
people
have you
typically pay
thought,
me.
I don't want to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
have you thought
No, go ahead.
about at one point creating some sort of certification program where you could train people that go out and do this for you?
So you're like the 50th person to ask me that question.
Yeah.
And the short answer is no. But I'm definitely open to it. I just feel like I need to bite off one thing at a
Oh,
time.
totally.
And right
I
now,
agree. One thing at a time. You get. So what I like to do is I like to play little games. If I have an idea of something I really want to do and it excites me, if it feels good, I go, great. Once I've gotten this to this whatever level, then I'll look.
right.
Right. So you can make a little game
Exactly.
for yourself. Like once this is done 500,000 in sales, I will investigate what that looks like. Something like that.
Exactly.
What's your
I love
email
that.
size right now?
I think 3,000,
Fantastic. Facebook audience?
over 10,000.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well done. Okay. Are you doing a payment plan with this?
Yes. So it's 3 payments of 197, I think. I mean, it's horrible that I don't know off the top of my head, but
Oh, that's fine. That's good. That's okay. I don't care.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure you had a payment plan.
Yes.
And what was the other thing I was going to say? I forgot what my other question was, but it's gone well, right? So far?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So what I was saying basically earlier, James, was that I have I do summer parties where I actually go into people's homes and do this. So they pay me typically a summer party is anywhere from $20,000 or more. So people are really getting they're getting that process condensed down into an online course.
You charge $20,000 for the slumber party?
$20,000, yes.
Dang, well done. People really want their full night of sleep, huh?
Yeah, they're like, I'm serious. Well, and because I work with moms who have brand new babies who want them to be sleeping through the night by the time they're 12 weeks, and then for older for moms to have older babies,
Yep.
We have to it's a whole different process, which because your sister went through it. It's a whole different process.
It was life changing for her. I mean, you're providing you're giving them their sanity back. So I totally get it. Okay, so what has worked on the online stuff? You said you've done webinars. Was it no good, really good, kind of good? Where's it at there?
I like doing webinars, but I don't get sales live on webinars. I get sales in the follow-up from the webinar and also from Facebook, on my Facebook ads. So like when I run a video about just recapping run a video after the webinar saying, hey, doors are open. People post their questions. I'm able to talk to them one-on-one, and then they'll be like, okay, I'm joining right now. So I get more from what I've learned is I get more sales from having interaction with people versus doing webinars, but that's not scalable, right? I can't be talking to people on the phone or on Facebook all day, every day.
Well, I get that, but here we are talking, right?
Yeah.
There's a way. I mean, look, there's a way,
right?
To do it. So, but I totally get it. Okay, so let's recap for everybody what it means to launch, because what you're really looking to do is to scale launch numbers, which means what does scale really means? It means I want to generate more revenue and attract more customers without more work. That's really what scale means. Like, how do I do this bigger without taking more of me? Because chances are there's no more of you left to give. That's where a lot of us feel is I don't have any more hours in the day. I don't have any more energy. So I totally get it. Okay. So the launch is a free experience plus an offer minus the objections and a deadline. That's how I look at it, right? So these are the 4 things that we focus on. Now, right now you've been doing webinars, but then you've been offering these other things like the videos and stuff. So now what you have here is a couple options that we can go down. One is we can look at, my whole philosophy of if it ain't broke, why fix it? Is the webinar at a place, and this is where we got to get into the numbers. So is the webinar at a place where even though you said, and this was your exact phrase, I don't get sales from the webinar, chances are, because you said you got sales after the webinar, that you've cemented the desire through the right conversation on the webinar, and it took a little bit more. So when we start to know our numbers and a little bit more data, we might start to realize, actually, the webinar is doing something, and there might be something else we could do to improve upon it. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. Do you have any, is it the sales never come in, or is it like one sale on the webinar? Is that the experience?
So I've had webinars where I've had 7 sales on a webinar, and I've had webinars where I've had 0 sales on a webinar, and the sales don't come until the follow-up portion.
Got it. Okay, can you give me the link to the launch calculator for the webinar? Thank you. Okay, so totally get that. Let's run through a few things. Are you doing a fast acting bonus on the webinar?
I am, yes.
Okay, good. And you introduced the payment plan on the webinar?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm thinking is that for you to be happy with the webinar, it needs to be between a 5 to 10% conversion rate from attendees to sales. Now, in a moment, Jilly's grabbing me the launch calculator. In a moment, I'll bring that up so we can play around with that. Okay. And if you're like, I'm nowhere near those numbers, but you might be. So it's like you're saying you got 7 on one. It really that could be a good number. That could be really bad. It depends. If you had 1,000 people on a webinar and 7 bought, that's about as bad as it gets. But if you had
right, and then
it's amazing. So what are your
right? And then also for my webinars, I also get my summer party clients too. So they may not buy the program, and they be like, hey, I don't want that. I want you to come to my house. So
yes,
that also happens too.
Yes. Okay. So let me just check in with you. Like, what is your gut telling you right now? Are you feeling like I got to ditch the webinar because it's really not serving me, and there's a better launch or sales system out there for me, or I need a few tweaks on this and I can really blow this up?
Ugh. I really want to. I want to tweak.
Okay.
I think it's just time to tweak, and then I feel like after the tweaks happen, if it's still not doing what it needs to do, then we're just going to move on to something else.
Got it. So here we're going to do 2 things together, because we're going to talk about the tweaks, and we're going to talk about the scaling. Okay. So that's what we're doing. Okay. So this is going to be super powerful, and this is valuable for everyone. So have you had an opportunity to play around with this calculator yet?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So here it is for everybody. So you want 20,000 in revenue, products $497. Now I know you've got 2 tiers, so we're going to just play. This is like a worst case scenario game, because your average price is going to go somewhere in the middle there, because you probably get 20% that take you up on the VIP. Food for thought too. Maybe you might want to consider the VIP going even higher. I think there should be more of a difference. So we offer a program called 48-Hour Film School. If I have any 48-Hour Film School fans in the house, what? We've got a $297 price point. That's the do it yourself. Like it's just up to you to watch the videos and do the work. But we got a VIP group or a VIP option for $997.
Okay.
And it's enough of a gap that it makes this is also called price anchoring, right? It makes this one feel really inexpensive, and this one very desirable, and people take this. And we limit these amount of speed. We actually say only 100 people for the VIP. And we sell out of the VIP every single time, and we get a ton of people that take the $297. So you could play around with that in some fashion if that helps.
Awesome.
But let's just do the $497. Now, would you happen to remember, and it's okay if you don't, you said you got 7 sales on one webinar. Like, how many people were we talking on that?
I think that webinar had like 20 people, 25 maybe, 20, 25. It was like one of my first,
Yeah. So here's the thing. If that's the case, and I did the math on 25, you're looking at close to a 30% conversion rate.
Oh, well, that's pretty damn good.
That's extremely good. And this is what I'm talking about, where the better we know our numbers and the better we have kind of like the guidelines for them, we can make better decisions. Because when you just look at it by itself, I got 7 once and 0 on the other. There's we tend to make the wrong types of interpretation. And this is really where I want to help people is the more you're informed on like what's good and what's bad and what I should be shooting for and what I shouldn't, the more it's going to help you. And if you had 50 people, I mean, that's still 15% conversion rate. I want to see you doing 10%. Okay. I'm happy with you doing 10%. In fact, that's still really good. Now I'm going to bring in another thing. So I promised you 2 things. I'm going to promise a third here because again, I'm not just helping you, I'm helping everyone else on the call. Is that we're not just, I said we're going to talk about scaling your webinar. We're going to talk about tweaking the webinar. And then I'm going to kind of combine that into what we call the runway.
Okay.
Which you're going to like that as well. Okay. So we do the math. 20,000 is the goal, 497, 10% conversion rate. Here's how you scale this to 20,000. You got to sell 40 units, assuming they all buy at the 497. Obviously that gets skewed with the VIP. We'll leave that out for now. That means you need to sell 20 units on the webinar.
Okay.
And I'll explain that in more detail in a moment, right? But in order to sell 20 units at a 10% conversion rate, you're going to need 200 attendees.
Okay.
In order to get 200 attendees, which the average person gets about a 30% attendance rate, you're going to need 667 registrants. Now, this is a rough number. By the way, this is a great EPL, $30 earnings per lead. But roughly, if it cost you $2.50 to get every single one of these leads, these registrants, that's how much it's going to cost you. So you're going to, and this is a rough estimate, but in your niche, you might be getting leads for 50 cents. Who knows?
Right. Well, I can tell you how much I'm getting leads for. So on my last webinar, I was getting leads for like under $1.
Yep. That's awesome. So let's just round up to $1. So my math is good. Spend $667 to get 667 registrants. 200 of them will attend. 10% conversion rate is 20 units. We'll talk about how you get to 40 in a moment.
Okay.
But you spend $667. Let's just round up to 700 for 20,000. That's a fantastic ROI. So ultimately, the way you scale is you got to get more registrants.
Right. Okay.
Plain and simple. And we can do that with Facebook. And the fact that you already have 10,000 Facebook fans is such a good sign on so many levels, because right now, like tomorrow, what I'm going to ask you to do is your first action item is if you don't have something right now, you need a plan for getting more fans. Now you probably do organically, but there are paid campaigns where you can get likes for like 10 cents a piece. And when you're not launching, so you start doing like a webinar once a quarter or once a month or whatever. In the off season, when you're not launching, you're running this campaign where you're getting 10 to 20 cent likes on your page. So you're continually building your fan page. So you have an audience that continues to grow. So you're not just like, oh, I'm tapped out. I got all my 10,000 fans. There's no one left, right?
Right.
And that's going to bleed into what we talk about the runway. So the scaling conversation, don't overcomplicate it. It's more leads, more registrants for a webinar. Okay. And that's going to be from spend more on Facebook.
Gotcha.
Okay. And that's including target your fans and target your existing list as well, because they're going to be the warmest buyers. Now, that's as simple as like, it doesn't need to be any more than that. You get those people, and you hit all these numbers, that's the type of results you get. Now, why did I say half on the webinar? Why do you get 20 units on the webinar? Because what we've seen is that when we run a webinar, like let's say we run the webinar on today. So today's Monday.
Okay.
And we're doing a webinar right now. So I could say, like, let's say this is for your webinar and you go, okay, guys, like, thanks for all the time. Peace. I'll see you later. We would close the cart probably the next Monday. Or maybe that Friday. Like we're closing the cart for this program this Friday. So what happens is in that time, you get about 50% of your sales in the follow-up sequence. You've probably experienced that, whether you noted it or not, or noticed it. But about 50% of the sales come in the follow-up. So with that math, you only need half the sales on the webinar and you're on the right track. Does that make sense?
Gotcha. Yeah.
So, yes, we have, all that stuff. Like how to do a follow-up campaign. Okay. So that's your scaling. Now, let's talk about runway and then we'll go to tweaks. The runway is basically this concept, and this is my buddy Stu McLaren. He says this. He says the longer the runway, the better the launch. In your case, the longer the runway, the better the webinar. So if you have two people, person A has never heard of you before, they've never seen you before, they've never consumed any of your content, and they register for your webinar, on a scale of 1 to 10, and be honest with me, how likely, or whatever comes to mind for you, how likely are they to sign up?
For the webinar, or you mean for the program?
Sorry, for the program. Thank you.
They will not, because I've done this before. So I've tested this. I've done a webinar to cold traffic and a webinar to warm traffic. Nobody bought from cold people. Everybody bought from the warm people.
Yes. So if someone has been consuming your stuff for the last couple of weeks and they're like, oh my gosh, she's blowing my mind right now, and they jump on the webinar, are they more likely to buy?
Yes.
Great. So that's exactly what a runway is. It's an intentional promotion period before the webinar to convert the coldest traffic to a warmer traffic. Right?
Awesome.
Okay. So this you get to create any way that you want, but let's just make something up here together in 5 seconds. So let's say, let's say this is January, because it just makes sense to use the beginning of the year, but you could start this tomorrow. And let's say you've got a March webinar. So I look in quarters. So I want to do one thing a month. You could do more than one webinar a month or a quarter, but I'm just going to choose one. So let's say I have my webinar in March. So I'm going to use January and February to do my runway. Now, what could we do? All right. So in January, we could just put out, I'm just making this up, a couple of free training videos, right? Maybe you do like a couple Facebook lives and then run some Facebook ads so you get more views and more exposure. And then maybe in February, you give them a quick PDF or testimonial case studies, right? To tell the stories of your past clients and how they got their lives back from the work that you've done. You know, especially because you worked in person, like you could go and like capture these real video testimonials and it would be so amazing. And so now, instead of using Facebook ads to attract cold audience, you're targeting people that have consumed this content. And one of the really cool things you can do on Facebook, and this is let's not get in the weeds for a moment, but most people have played with Facebook ads knows this. If you do a video on Facebook, you can create an audience from the views. So if you got 1,000 people watch that video, you can target them your case study, and then you could target them to invite them to the webinar. So what this is really about is you being more intentional about what are you doing in the runway in the months or weeks leading up to the webinar, so you warm up the audience. So by the time they register, by the time they attend, they know you, they love you, and they're ready to buy. And that's going to be huge. And this is then once you dial that in and you're like, you do your debrief, you get your numbers and you're like, hey, James, we hit 10%, we got this many people and blah, blah, blah. You're like, great. Let's make a bigger goal. Let's try 40,000 next time. And you just go bigger with everything. And the more we know those two numbers, this is for everybody, the more you know your EPL, it's actually EPR in this case, what is a registrant worth to you?
Right.
So if you did 667 times 30, you'd get $20,000, right? Okay. Each person who registered in this scenario is worth $30. So are you willing to spend $1, $2, $5 for each one of those? When you know your EPL and you know your CPL, your cost per lead, you're in the driver's seat of scaling. I mean, you just play around all day with like, I'd like spend more so I could make more. But yeah, so that's that piece. Let's talk about tweaks for 2 minutes, and then I'm going to see if you got any questions, and then we'll see if anyone else has questions on webinars, because we covered a lot really quickly. All right, so here's how I look at my webinars. Okay, the reason this calculator is so important is because we're looking at registrants, attendees, and sales. So we're going to break it down like that. And what you're going to do is, now that you have this calculator, you're going to say, okay, let's just say 700 registrants. And so this is how I map out a webinar. And then I go 200 attendees. Let's say 300 attendees.
Okay.
And then let's say 10% conversion rate. So these become the things that I focus on, right? This is what becomes important. So the first thing I do is I say, how am I going to get these 700 registrants? And I go, well, I could do that runway that James talked about. I could do some Facebook ads. I could do some emails to my existing list. You give me one or two. Like, how could you get these 700 registrants?
I would do Facebook ads, emails. I would pitch it at my events, like my live events. I would let them know I'm doing a webinar on XYZ topic.
Awesome. You could do all your other social media sites, like,
of course.
Right. So you go like, okay, I got that. But there's actually some more. There's some stuff that we don't think about, like the landing page. It's one thing, this is just to get traffic, but that doesn't guarantee that they're actually going to opt in once they go to the site. So are we running split tests to increase the conversion rate? So many people don't even know the conversion rate on their webinar registration page. They're converting at 10% and they wonder why no one's registering because the page ain't working, right? So
yes. So my conversion rate on my webinar page is 68%.
That's so amazing. Yeah. So you're not going to have much of a problem here. Like, that's really easy for you. So then the next thing that we want to look at is, how do we get the attendance rate, right? Do you know what your attendance rate at the top of your head?
Was 20%.
Okay.
I believe.
So that's a little low. And
right.
Understandably so. Moms are busy. They don't have a lot of time. Yeah. So there's a reminder sequence that we could put in place, right? We could do a downloadable PDF that they get on the thank you page. We can do reminders. ManyChat will do a great piece of software. It's like $10 a month. We did this for this webinar. We'll do a private message reminder to them on Facebook. Hey, we're starting in 5 minutes. Come hop on, right? So there's all kinds of little stuff like this. But we do, on a lot of our webinars, this is crazy, we'll do up to 5 emails, reminders, in one day, the day of.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I know it's crazy, and people are like, wait, what? That's a lot. But look, people are busy, and they got a lot of stuff going on, and most people will like see one of those, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I got to be on that webinar. So those are some things to help with that.
Okay.
And then lastly, we want to look at what are some ways that we can increase conversion rate on the webinar. I'm actually going to put this on its own page. Okay.
Now, James, when you say downloadable PDF, are you saying of something like what is the PDF of? Right. I guess that's my question.
Okay. So I went really fast on that because I'm trying to cover a lot, and that happens. So on the thank you page after they register, so let's just call it thank you page. You could have a PDF on there. Now, and you say, to get the most out of this live training that you're going to attend, I want you to make sure to download the PDF. This is an accompanying guide that's going to really help you throughout this training. And so when they get the PDF, there's this concept called, it's so fascinating how the human brain works, called like the incomplete complete model. So you could, let's say you have in your training, you have these things like 5 steps to a full night's sleep. So they get the PDF and it's like, 5 steps to a full night's sleep. And it's 1, 2. So what most people do is they leave it blank, right, with the lines. And then it's like, I got to attend the webinar to fill these out. You want to take something like this. So that's nice. That's good. That's what most people do if they want extra credit. Where you take this to a whole nother level is you fill out 2 of them. You say like, turn the noise magic machine. I don't know.
Right.
And then number 4 is like, turn the baby upside down. Right? I know.
Right.
Okay. So now what they see is they see 2 and they're like, oh man, I got to finish these. It's this like feeling of like, it's not complete. I got to complete it. Right?
Gotcha.
But if it's just a bunch of lines, there's no meaning. So that makes sense?
Yes.
Okay.
So I have a workbook already, so I can totally do that. That's easy.
Perfect. Yeah, that's going to be super powerful. Now, what I like to put in that workbook is a bio about yourself, so they know more about you. You're already positioned. You should be positioned as an authority in the workbook, and I put testimonials in there. Not just.
I don't have that. Okay, I'll add that.
Yeah, have testimonials of both from clients and feedback from the webinar. This was the best training. Thank you so much. Right. Because you're selling the webinar. Just because they register does not mean they're going to attend, guys. Okay, let's talk about conversion rate for just a moment. How can we make sure that we get this plus 10% conversion rate? I'm just gonna throw some ideas out there for you really quick. Okay, so
Okay.
the first one, in the first 5 minutes, I tell them I'm selling them something.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if this increases the conversion rate, but it sets the expectation, and I think it's important. Now, if you notice, if you're here at the beginning, I said that today. I said the cart's open for our program. I'm going to be talking about it at the end, and I did. Okay, so I always do that. Now, I give them, I tell them why they need to stay to the end, and I give them a reason, whether it's a free bonus or something like that, right? Do you have something like that already?
I do. Yep.
Fantastic. Now, you also said you have a fast acting bonus. Good. So I think a lot of this stuff you're already doing because you already told me you have an amazing conversion rate. So this isn't going to be as much relevant to you as it is maybe someone listening. Your webinar is already doing phenomenally well. And it's probably for these reasons because you have all these little things in place. We want to make sure that we get to the pitch and like the price when I say the pitch before top of the hour. Okay. If we go over an hour, people start leaving. Like there's not as many people on now because we're like, what are we, 2 hours into this now? Dang. Okay. So you want to get into the pitch before the top of the hour. So those are definitely some big things. What I would do is, what is your fast acting bonus?
It's product recommendation videos. So parents are always confused on, okay, now I'm sleep training, but like, what do I buy? Like, how do I do? Like, what products do I use? And so I give them the videos and a PDF that way they can click it and put it into their Amazon cart just to buy it.
Okay. Now that's cool. What's important for our whatever our bonus is we want to seed this early on. So what are you doing to, this is like high level stuff, but what are we doing to create demand for this bonus in the first 10 minutes of the webinar? You could start to say something like, there's a lot of stuff out there. And the sad thing is a lot of people waste money buying the wrong type of stuff that they don't need, or it's overpriced. And over the years, I've tested the right type of stuff that you need. See what
Gotcha.
like just saying little things like that. They're like, oh yeah, that's what I need. Because they didn't even know that they needed all this stuff. They didn't even know that they could be wasting all this money buying the wrong stuff. Okay. So by the time we present the bonus, they're like, oh, this is exactly what I needed. Thank you.
Gotcha.
Testimonials and case studies. I'm sure you got plenty.
Yes. Got plenty.
Okay. Do you open up the sales page or walk them through like the,
yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, your webinar is fantastic. So the last thing is a follow-up sequence, and I'm making a new slide for this. So, and I won't spend too much time here, but I'm gonna go really fast, and I know I'm like overwhelming people, but that's okay. It happens.
I mean, I feel good because
I know
this is not my first rodeo, but somebody who's like brand new is like, whoa.
I know. So with a follow-up sequence, here's some of the things that I like to do. First of all, we got to address all the objections. Okay. Yep. So, and by the way, your bonuses, this is a huge thing, is your bonuses are meant to address the objection. So we have a course on YouTube. People say, I don't want to be in front of the camera. So I go, hey, I put together a bonus, 7 different ways you can make videos without ever being on camera. Boom. Objection gone. Right.
Well, you know what, James, I learned that from you in Create Awesome. In the bonus, you taught us that, and I was like, "That's genius!" So, and that definitely works for my people, for sure.
So powerful, guys. So that's a whole nother topic, but we went really fast on that. So in your follow-up sequence, emails. So we want to do Facebook retargeting. I like to do a value add of some sort, whether it's a new bonus or just like showing. Like, hey, I want to highlight one of the features of the program. Do you have like a course tour video or anything?
I do. Yep, I do a behind the scenes course tour video.
It's great. Like a live stream Q&A.
I did that, and that really helped. When I did that, people were like, okay, I'm buying now. I'm like, okay. So that really helped.
Yeah. And then last day we do 4 to 5 emails where we just kind of tell people like, hey, it's closing down. So the last thing is always that there is a deadline. So is that what you're doing? You're closing it down, saying this, we're not taking any more people or anything like that?
Yes. Open, close.
You're doing all the right things, and I get it. You're just ready to scale, which means focus on the runway.
Yeah.
Using a combination of paid ads and free content to warm up.
I do need to work on that. I think that's definitely my area of opportunity is the runway for sure.
Yep. And you should have something in there, like I said, to just be getting more likes and fans on your fan page. So you continue building that audience.
Awesome.
That's what we did. We spent 2 months before this promotion. A lot of people are here know that already. Warming up our audience around these topics. So by the time the video series, started, our audience was right there. It was just like the next step. So let me just see where other people are at. Guys, do you have any questions around this, or have you typed in a question? Let me just Karen says, awesome stuff. Vincent says, can I please get in the hot seat before the night ends? I can't promise anything. There's a lot of people asking for a hot seat. Venus says, love the incomplete complete concept. Let's see. Oh, Lisa says, you've given so much on this webinar, drinking by Fire Us, but so grateful. Yeah, don't worry, guys. We'll get the replay out to you guys. I know I'm talking really fast. I feel bad. Some of these take a while, but that we've.
Well, you gotta dig deep sometimes, and to really get to the end solution here. So, hey, James, I have a question for you about the next level membership. How much one-on-one time do we get with you in that program?
Okay, so what I do in the next level is we do one call together, just one-on-one. And that's our big strategy call. And there's a whole process. Like each person has to fill out a form based on their goals and what they're up to and what their offers are, what their assets are, and all that stuff.
Okay.
Then we create a plan for the year and for the quarters. Then the rest of it is similar to this, where it's hot seats and group coaching. We use like Zoom calls for our monthly group coaching calls, and then it's there's live events as well. So the next level peeps get 2 live workshops, plus every one of our other events, like BBD Live, which we do twice a year. They get a VIP day. Is that correct? They get part of it. Yeah. So, what's that? Seating at least. VIP seating. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I hope that answers.
Yes.
Cool.
Perfect.
Okay,
Awesome.
Tamika, I hope this has been beneficial to you. I hope people listening to this has been beneficial. I want to see if we can do one more. So,
yes. Thank you, James, so much for picking me.
Oh, of course.
I won the lottery today.
My team. I can't take credit for randomly throwing these in front of me. So, yes, thank you, Team Wedmore. Okay, Tamika, talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, you guys. I know. This has been a while. Are you guys good to keep going? Can I just check in with you guys? Like a Y, a yes, a 1. You guys are good. Let me check, because my team did give me another 1. Okay. Yes, I'm getting all the yes, keep going. All right. So is Daryl here? Daryl, let me know if you're still on the line. I know a lot of people have left since we started because people can't stay for too long. Oh yeah, Daryl is here, right? Yes. Daryl, type in a 1 if you can be unmuted, if you have a mic and are willing to do a hot seat. Okay, good. Okay. All right, Daryl, I'm unmuting you now. Daryl, you're live.
G'day, James.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Is that loud and clear enough?
Oh yeah, you're coming in loud and clear.
Awesome. Gosh, somewhat excited here.
Oh man, well, thank you for the patience. I know this is a long one. We're 2 hours in, but I appreciate you staying on.
No, it's well worth it. You've covered some amazing strategies there.
Well, thank you. Let me get a fresh piece of virtual paper here for you, and then I'm going to. It's D.
And of course, it probably goes without saying, I'm quietly panicking at this point too.
Okay, let's start there. Why panicking?
Have you had a look at what I put in? I threw that together pretty quickly.
I haven't looked at it yet. I'll look at it in a minute. Why are you panicking?
I don't know. I guess you're such a scary dude, James.
No, I'm not.
No, you're very good at the coaching. I've had couple of interactions with you before.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess that's it's always confronting when people put you in the hot seat.
Yeah. Oh, that's why they call it a hot seat, right? Well,
Yeah.
it's friendly, safe environment here, and something great's going to come out of it. And the feedback, by the way, from everyone else who's just been like listening in, I really appreciate you guys. Very supportive, very positive, and that means a lot. Marion said, "Big fat lie. James is so gentle." Mary says, "I love your accent," so that should be good. Now,
yeah,
Andy
calling from Melbourne, Australia.
Oh, okay. Andy guessed New Zealand. So, are you from New Zealand originally or Australia?
Oh, that's an interesting point, actually. Yeah, out in the country, out in the bush, in a very remote part of South Australia. So it's a very different accent to Melbourne.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. Interesting. Very exciting. Okay. Let's get into your hot seat question. So, DarylSims.com. What is your biggest struggle? You answered, I'm juggling between creating a launch for my soon-to-be self-published book and creating my online training course. I'm unclear on how far to niche down. Okay, good. Rather than focus on real estate investing, should I niche down to investing in off-the-plan property specifically, as that is an area of my expertise and my business? What is it? Latteproperty.com?
Yeah, latteproperty.com.au.
Specializes in helping people buy off the plan real estate. What is it? Can you explain that to me really quick? What's off the plan?
So it hasn't been built yet. We have the plans and permits in place. A lot of that stock is not advertised in the public space, so people get to buy it before it's been created, and generally get to save a bit of money in that process.
Got it. Okay. Biggest goal or desired outcome is to launch my real estate investing book as an Amazon bestseller in March of 2018, followed immediately by creation and successful launch in August. My 2018, my online course is a highly profitable, highly popular course. Main goal is to step back from my real estate business and focus purely on educating hundreds of real estate investors through my online training course. Let me ask then really quickly, and maybe this is what you just described with off the plan properties. What type of real estate investing is it? It's investing in properties that haven't been created yet? Is that what I heard?
Yeah, so new townhouses, apartments, some luxury homes for some of our overseas clients that are relocating here for their education of their children.
And is this like, is the online course like how to do this as a business, or is it like educating them and then they come to you and invest with you? Like, what are they?
That was one of my, I think that's further down, I wrote that. One of my challenges was, should I not even mention that? I mean, it's a bit like you sort of you mentioned that you have Facebook ads training programs, but you don't hard sell it when you're with your course. It's just a sort of by the by conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking that I probably need to just focus on guiding people in the investment space.
So does that mean though, they can do their own business? Like they can just do this on their own. They don't need anything else from you?
Yeah, I'm thinking that's the way I'll go. I mean, it would be a nice little bonus if they decide, if they are located in Australia, for example. Well, not necessarily just Australia. It's a nice bonus if they decide they would like to work with our other business.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a little bit challenged as to whether I should keep them very separate.
Got it. Okay. Well, let's. It sounds like the first question is struggling. Like, where do I put my time and energy right now? Is that what I'm hearing from the first question?
I'm very. I've been following you for quite some time, as you may be aware.
Yeah.
And I've wanted to create the online training product for quite some time. So that is my passion. I mean, my passion is helping people. We're a little bit similar in that space. And I get amazing feedback and testimonials from clients that have sat with me and I've helped them. So we're just wanting to leverage that and get in front of more people, help more people.
Yeah. Can you describe a little bit, like, it's awesome that you've already had some great results with people. What's the transformation look like for someone who would go through this program?
Well, there's a lot of people that just very similar to what you're doing with course creation and helping people in that space. We really don't know where to start, and there's so much information out there, and everyone is singing a slightly different tune, and there's some pretty shady operators in the property space, and there's so much at stake if you get it wrong. You know, there's tens of thousands of dollars in loss, if not worse.
Yeah.
Does that help?
Well, it helps, but it still didn't answer the question. So I'm going to push more. What type of results can they expect from? And I know you don't want to promise anything, but like, if I followed your course to a T and I was your best student and I was committed and I never gave up, like, what type of results should I expect?
So the main result is in identifying top quality properties in the right suburbs, in the right type of properties to deliver a very strong capital growth and increase in value, and reducing, hang on, let me rephrase that, maximising tax benefits in the process for clients that are in the higher tax brackets,
mm-hmm.
and creating a portfolio of properties, getting bigger and bigger as we go along, how to fast track that. And the end goal, I guess, there, of course, the transformation I suppose you're looking for is wealth creation, lifestyle, giving lifestyle choices.
I love it. Okay.
For those that want to quit their job, for example, we can get them there eventually, but it's not a get rich quick scheme. There's plenty of those out there. That's not what we do.
Yeah, I totally get that. Okay, so what's really the sticking point right now for you? Like you this has been proven, and you've already helped people do this or get on the right track. What's getting in the way?
Apart from myself and apart from running I'm very busy with my actual physical business, mm-hmm. but I started writing my first property investment book. It's a good 4 years ago now, and all sorts of things got in the way, which we won't go into. So that got parked initially for 12 months or so, and then I felt that I needed to tie in the launch of that book. I would like to give it away as a free book, and upsell into a course. And I guess, I've got somewhat stuck there, and I'm doing both. I'm finishing the book at the same time as I'm putting together the online course.
Yeah, and that's a struggle.
And I've been very time poor in that space, but it's slowly coming together. And the last discussion you and I had, you gave me some clarity around that I probably need to focus on finishing the book. And get that.
What are your assets right now? Like, do you have an email list? Do you have a fan page? Like, do you got any type of community right now?
Yeah, we've got close to 1,000 email subscribers. Mm-hmm. Many of those are actual clients. Many are clients, and many are also prospects. They want to purchase property.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Facebook's not that exciting. I think, it's only a few hundred there.
Got it. Okay. So here's some thoughts I'm going to throw out at you, and I don't remember what I said the last time we chatted, so hopefully it doesn't contradict myself, but books take a lot of time, and they take a lot out of us. Whereas if you wanted to, you could launch a group coaching program that gets turned into a course. And that's the way I always recommend to everybody to get started. Even if you're only doing this to 5 people, you're getting paid upfront to create a better program because you're getting real-time feedback from the founding members. And I know that's not a new concept to you, but I always believe it's the easier way to go, because then no matter what happens, you saying like you're getting in the way and the lack of time. When you know that you have a group of paying members that are expecting like a weekly training video or a weekly webinar from you, you're going to make the time. You're going to show up and you're going to do it. But then what happens is that you've recorded the content now, it's done, and then you can actually use that in a way to help create the book. In fact, I created a self-published book years ago. I just did a Kindle book because I was like, I want to try a Kindle book, and it did really well. But all I did was I transcribed the training videos from my course and had an editor, buddy of mine, come in and like trim it down and like make it a much more abridged, like digestible version. I'm not saying you got to do that for your whole book, but it made writing the book a heck of a lot easier. And I was talking to Jeff Walker recently. Now, he wrote a bestseller. I don't know who published it. I forgot, but I don't think it was self-published. He wrote a bestseller, and he does a weekly YouTube video. And he said he believes that he gets more of an audience, more future customers from his weekly YouTube videos than he ever did writing the book. And if he had to choose it over again, he would just do the weekly videos. And, I don't want to discourage you from writing the book, but and to me, it's one of the hardest things. All of us here listening, it's one of the hardest things that we're ever going to do if we decide to write a book. I have a lot of friends that are authors and like New York bestselling authors and New York Times, and it takes a lot. It really does. So you doing that and creating the curriculum of a program, like you've set up a really challenging game that's really hard for you to win.
That's something I do. I tend to shoot pretty high.
Yeah. Well, you can go really high, but make it easy for yourself. Like you can say, hey, I want to get 100 people in this program, but I'm not going to create a single video until I get paid first, So you can still shoot really high, but you've also attached that you've got to put yourself through the ringer in order to make it happen. And I get
You've just given me an idea, James. Just reversing flipping around what you just said there. I've actually 90% of the manuscript is done on that first book. Mm-hmm. I could actually use a lot of that content to create the course, providing that's what people want. Yeah,
but that would make it too easy for you, right? That'd be just too easy. We don't want to go the easy route. Look at my webinar right now. It's a bunch of ugly black text on a white background. People need the information. They need the content, they need the support, and they need the coaching. And we tend to focus so much more on how good does it look, how perfect is it, and all this stuff before we ever put it out there. And the biggest breakthroughs have happened for me when I dropped the perfectionism and came to a place of I'm just here to serve, and I'm just going to figure out how I can serve. And this thing here tonight, I don't know how it went and what your guys' opinion is, and I didn't know how it was going to go, but I said, if I really want to help people, what can that look like? I'm like, well, at least I'm going to be able to unmute a few people and we're going to have a conversation. And, it might be a little messy. It's not going to be as fancy, and, you're not going to give me any branding awards or anything like that. But people are finding value. And then there is that analogy. I've shared this with you guys before. Most of you, if you're out there, if you imagine someone's out there drowning out in the ocean or water, like a lake, and they're saying, help me, I'm drowning. you're going to make a beeline to save that person. You're going to go straight to them. You're not going to worry about, is everything perfect before I help them? Am I in the right boat? Is it a nice yacht? No, you're just going to go out there and you're going to help them. And sometimes we lose sight of that because we're focusing more on how we think we need to show up. Like, who am I to be the expert? Or what if I haven't done this? Or there's all these other people already doing that. And how am I going to be anything different? It's like, I have those same thoughts go through my head all the time. And I only know how to shut those thoughts up, because you shouldn't believe everything you think, when I say it doesn't matter because I'm just here to help. It doesn't matter. All that stuff can just wash away. And this is something that wealth creation, there's all those stats about how, like, what is it, like 70-80% of people live paycheck to paycheck. There's all this data about people that by the time they die, like how much they were in debt, right? Now, I don't know what those numbers are in Australia, but they're pretty bad in America. And that's the ultimate solution or transformation that you're offering. That's the problem that you're solving. And that's an opportunity to change people's lives, because this stuff is not talked about in school. You don't learn about wealth creation in school. And and then people get to an older age and they go, man, I wish I would have learned this earlier. I wish someone would have told me what to do. And that's what this is about. And you told me already you're here to serve. And all that other stuff, including us and the things we say about ourselves, can always be put aside when we focus on I'm just here to serve.
I think you've uncovered something there, James. It is about perfection. I've been a perfectionist most of my life, and I've been working on changing that.
Yeah,
and getting some success there.
We can change that right now. So, what are who else is here? Isn't a perfectionist? Type a P in the chat box if you're also a perfectionist or you've been guilty of perfectionism. Let me see who we've got here. Just give me a P. Yeah, we got a lot. Okay. Well, awesome. Welcome to the club. Hi. Welcome to the Perfectionist Club. Okay. So, what are the benefits of perfectionism? And I'm asking you, Daryl. Sorry, I didn't say that. Daryl, what's the benefit? But what's the benefit? I mean, obviously, you wouldn't be a perfectionist if it didn't have some positive outcome.
It certainly helps as far as if you over deliver on what clients' expectations are.
Yep.
That's how I've grown all my businesses since 2003, is purely over delivering, just going way beyond the call of duty, get happy clients, which then refer more clients.
Great. That's a great benefit. That's absolutely. What else? Anything else come to mind?
No, what comes to mind is the amount of stress it puts on yourself.
Got it. Well, we haven't gotten there yet, but let's just for a moment, let's stay on the benefits. What about no or little or less complaints? Right?
Absolutely. We've got all 5-star reviews.
Yeah. Now hold on a second, guys, because this is important, right? I'm not saying that there even is something called being perfect. I'm saying having a perfectionist mindset. In our belief system, we believe that there are inherent benefits with that, like happy clients that will, word of mouth. But also that if we're a perfectionist, we won't get as much criticism, right? That's another one. No, little or less criticism. So I'm just going to say no. And not as many complaints, right? Is it true to say that that's a benefit, that we think at very least that we won't have as many complaints or criticism? Is there anything else that comes to mind? And there might not be. I'm just checking. Any other benefits to perfection?
I think you've pretty much nailed it. The criticism's a big one.
Yeah.
And that comes from, as you would probably know, from youth, when you've copped a lot of criticism, so
Yeah.
not being good enough or whatever. So then you strive to be way above what everyone else is achieving.
Totally. Yeah. Totally get it. Who here, just type in a 1 if you know exactly what Daryl's talking about. Because I do. Yeah. You're getting a ton of 1s. And a lot of people that are writing 1 all the way across the screen. Yeah. I mean, we all believe we're not good enough, and we're all afraid of everybody else who thinks we're not good enough.
I think
Everyone
it's
else.
Also,
What's that?
it's also the industry, James. There's so many shady operators. You want to make absolutely certain that you're standing well apart from them.
Yeah. You want to be different from the shady operators. Totally get it. Look, these are great and very valid benefits to perfectionism. Now, what are the costs, right? What are the cons? What's the negative impact? What comes up for you immediately? Because you already mentioned it before.
Stress, high stress,
Yeah.
lack of sleep.
Okay, I'll put those on the same line. What else?
Long hours.
There's something big that you're missing, but you're going to get it. What else is it costing you?
The time to market. I've lost so much time. Lost opportunity. There you go. That's a good one.
Yeah, but you're even softening that. The cost is you never put it out there.
Yeah.
You started your book 4 years ago.
I've got something there. It's not so much a cost to me. It's a cost to the fact that I've failed to help so many people that I could be helping.
Yeah. Bingo. Okay.
Because that's how I ended up in business myself. I really enjoy helping people.
Yeah, I get that. And
or maybe it's the feedback that you get from people when you help them. Maybe that's what we're thriving on.
So what happens when you keep working every day and you're not getting any feedback, positive feedback? Right? You start wondering, what am I even doing? Is it even worth it? What am I even working towards? I showed you those texts at the beginning. I'm not doing this to brag because I really don't. So please, I don't want anyone to misconstrue this, but I get texts like this, emails like this all the time. People say, how do you get so much done? How are you always doing something? I go, because this is my rocket fuel. I hacked that. I figured that out a long time ago. And I said, wow, this is a really simple, easy game. Just keep helping people. And then they're going to send you all this amazing praise. I'm not saying like, look, they did that. I didn't do that. I just gave them a high five and said, you got this, just like I'm doing with you, Daryl, right? But then they come back and say, hey, look at all the results I've got. That gives me more juice. I go back out there and create, and it's this beautiful cycle that I've created. So yeah, there is a cost of when you're not helping the people. There's no reinforcement, right? So I think we could go on here, but you get the idea. Now, let me ask you this question. If we could put this on a scale, and then let me know if this makes sense. Like, if you could give this almost like an impact scale out of 100, I'm trying to weigh almost like put a point system on the benefits and the costs. Which one where would you attribute more of these points? Would you put more on the benefits or more on the costs? Because we don't need to drop the perfectionism if you're getting more benefits than you are cost. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you had to attribute a number that adds up to 100 to both the benefits and the costs, what numbers would you give to each one?
I think it's a 10-to-1 ratio.
So like 10 to 90?
Sorry?
Like 10 to benefits and 90 to costs?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. And you could even go higher here because look, you're getting a lot of benefits. Like, it's really important that you differentiate yourself from the shady people out there. It's really important that you have great word of mouth, right? But it's also important that you get your stuff out there. So this is really important because every time we fall into our perfectionism, which is just a habit, it's just a way of being, and you can change it in an instant, what you're going to do is you're going to remind yourself of what it's costing you every time. Because here's the thing, I like to say that this stuff, the criticism, the complaints, an unhappy client, it's inevitable. See, some of you guys are trying to build this business by trying to avoid these things. And that's a little bit about what Daryl's doing. It's impossible. That's like what I like to say. It's like trying to go surfing without getting wet. You can't do it. You cannot do it. People will say, James, you're on a webinar for 3 hours. You're give, and you're, oh my, blah, blah, blah. And I'll still have someone who is completely unhappy, chews me out, wants a refund. It's inevitable. It's totally unavoidable. So there, we get to see, is this serving us or not? Are we going to make it mean when someone says, this was crap, I want my money back? Are we going to make it mean I'm crap and I suck as a human? And that can be hard. And that's why so many people don't put their stuff out there, because they're so afraid of not what people are going to say, but what we think it's going to mean about who we are as people. Is it going to reinforce a belief that's just a belief, it's not fact, that I'm not good enough, that I'm not worthy, that I'm not the best, I'm not blah, blah, blah. And look, we all deal with that, and it's not easy. I'm not going to say it's easy, but we at least now know what it's costing us. So you get to choose if you want to, remain a perfectionist, and it's okay because you're getting benefit out of it. But that's up to you.
That's great, James. Thank you.
Yeah. So what I would do, if I were you, but I'm not you, so and I can't tell you what to do, is I would create a radical game, because you know where your values are, and you're not really aligning a lot of your actions towards your values. You've told me now like 3 times how important it is that you're helping people. And I would create a radical game. We create what's something called impact goals in my mastermind, right? Which is how many people do you want to help, and how do you want to help them by when? It's an impact goal. And I would create an impact goal. I wouldn't focus on the money. I wouldn't focus on the perfection. I'd focus on the impact, and I'd put a deadline in there. Make a game for yourself and say, okay, I want to, get 10 people to invest in their first property, or I want to give this plan, a 90-day plan, or a 20-year wealth creation plan to 10 people in the next 90 days, or whatever it is. Like, you get to create it, and I would focus on that, and I would commit to that. And whether it's a book, whether it's a course, whether it's both, becomes irrelevant, because you're coming from what is very high on your value scale, which is the desire to help people. And these are big problems that you're solving for people. These are huge transformations that you offer, and people need this. I guarantee there are people here on this call. Just type in a 2 if this is something you need, or you've been curious about, or you're like, yeah, I mean, wealth creation has been something I've been putting off because I've been focusing on my business, and once I have money, then I can focus on that, right? I get that. So yeah, I'm getting a ton of 2s. So, I'm huge on strategy, but sometimes I'm like, you know what, Daryl, throw the Hail Mary out there and just see what happens. I
like the impact goal. That is really helpful. Thanks, James, because I think that's another thing that's also holding me back is the charging people the money. I've always had a challenge in charging people what I'm actually worth, what people tell me I'm worth.
Well, okay. Here's the first of all, you can't give this away for free, because it's
absolutely not.
It's not only too damn good that I wouldn't let you do it. But people will be like, well, this is probably one of these shady operators. What's the catch here? He's doing this for free. I don't trust it, right? So you definitely have to charge. You've heard me say before, the transformation begins with the transaction. And it's so true. Anytime you guys have invested in anything, you show up differently. But here's the thing. If right now there's a lot of resistance and hesitancy around the price, go to the price where you feel comfortable with, because the more results you get, the more it's going to reinforce your value. See, we're waiting. This is huge, guys. We're waiting for the world to tell us our value. We're waiting for all these people to confirm and shout it from a rooftop with neon signs that my program is worth this, that this is the type of value that I offer, and this is how I help people. And it doesn't happen that way. That's backwards. You declare it first, you put it out there, and you help people because you say, this is the value I provide, this is the price I charge, and this is how I'm going to help you. And the more you do that, the more they come back and they say, hey, I did what you said. This is the results I got. That was amazing. Best money I've ever spent. And it will just create this, this reinforcement feedback loop. And you'll continue to say, okay, great. I'm going to raise my price. I'm going to increase it more. I'm going to offer this. I'm going to change this. I'm going to do this. And that's exactly what I've done for 10 years to now the point where we just raised our mastermind by $5,000 because we're like, we're not charging enough for this. And it just continues to happen. I didn't start out guy walking around saying 10 years ago, like, hey, give me $30,000. I had a hard time selling a $97 product. I had a really hard time with that. And now we don't look back at that. So you start where you're comfortable at, and I promise you, the confidence comes through the action and that reinforcement of the people you're serving. But you won't know until you do it. You know what I mean? Like you can get it conceptually, and then once you're doing it, you're like, that's what James was talking about. So anyway, I hope that helps, Daryl, and I hope this helps everyone else that we got to chat about all kinds of stuff here. So Daryl, thank you. You are so open and just being like super like real and vulnerable. So I really acknowledge you for that. It's really easy for someone to come on and say, hey, I know everything and I'm really smart and there's nothing wrong and everything's perfect. And you just like opened up, shared, and I think you really helped a lot of people who are listening in here. So thank you.
Thanks, James. You're a champion.
Yeah, I appreciate you a lot, Daryl. Okay, I'm going to mute Mr. Daryl. Here's what I want to do. Like, we've been going for 2.5 hours. Why don't we just do some quick rapid fire questions? We still got a lot of people on the line. I'm doing this again. Is that cool? Do you guys want to hop on again? And I'm doing, oh my gosh, tomorrow morning. I should probably get some sleep soon. So we're going to do this again, and I'll probably go longer tomorrow once I get some sleep. So why don't we just do some rapid fire questions really quick? And we still have your submitted debriefs, or not debriefs, hot seat applications. So if you want to come on tomorrow, we might see if you're there, and we'll do our best. We're trying to get as many people as we can. It's just a lot of people. It's a numbers game, right? So So do you guys want to ask some quick questions? You guys want me to talk about some things? Let me know. I'm here. Jenna says, what are your thoughts on a quick and dirty launch? I love the quick and dirty with a sale at the end and a discount beginning. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the discounts. I'm a fan of the first time you launch something, starting it at a price and saying it's going to go up. But I don't like price slashing. I think it cheapens your brand. I think it cheapens your product. And most importantly, unfortunately, it trains your audience to wait for it to go on sale. Instead of the discount, I always do value add. So instead of taking away on price, I increase on value. I give them more value, more coaching, more content, something else that's going to help them that I would have charged more for. Okay. Tamiko says, do we get immediate access to all the modules in Business by Design? The answer is yes. And in fact, while I've got you here, let me show you something very cool. If I can bring it up in like 30 seconds here. So I should have done this like way earlier, but whatever, make a lot of mistakes. This is the members area. Cool course tour. I'll take you through it for like 30 seconds. So let's say you're like, yeah, I want to do a launch, James. You're like, I was here listening to what you said with Tamiko. And, I want to do a webinar. So you'd open up one of our launch plans and, here's 3.4, the webinar launch. So we open that up, and basically there's a training video on how we do that. but there is a process that we've created. We've processized everything. And so the first thing that we do is you say, okay, you want to create a webinar. So we take you through a 5-step process to plan out the launch. You don't just blindly start taking action because you're like, I don't know what I'm working on. So the first step is called Dream It. And this is where you create your goals. And this is where we take you through the launch calculator. And you'd come up with what we call the metrics that matter. Those are the 3 metrics that matter for this launch. Then we take you through the map, and you map out your launch, all the assets that you need to run the webinar. Then step 3 is book it. So you put everything on a calendar. Then you do what's called chunk it. You take everything and you put it into the essential mini projects. And then step 5 is just to do the work. And we put all the steps in here. You can see this is every step you need to run a webinar, start to finish. So here's what's really cool. This is our webinar registration system. This is literally step by 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 step. Doesn't skip a single thing. Like anybody could do this, right? In fact, we've given this to $2 an hour virtual assistants who have no experience. They've never done this before, and they can do the whole thing and they come back in 24 hours and they go, here, it's done. It's ready. There's even a process for how to test that they did it right. How amazing is that? Look, if you were to do this yourself, you guys got to get this. If you were to do this yourself and it's the first time you're doing it, without a process to follow, if you're doing it yourself, it could take you 2 days. If you're following this process yourself, maybe you do it in 6 to 7 hours. If you assign it to a VA, it takes you 5 minutes. Hey, follow this process. Now, what's really cool is that you can click this green button and it will actually add to a free Process Street account. I won't do it in this demonstration, but we show you inside the course. So you can actually add this to your own account and then edit these and assign it to a VA and manage your VA within here. It's so cool. So powerful. This is exactly what we do. So everything is processized. Processized. All right. Pretty cool, right? All right. So let's jump into some questions, hang out for a few minutes, and then we'll call it a night. We'll do this again. I really appreciate you guys being here. Christy says, James, I'm all in. I believe in you as a mentor. Thank you. I believe in me. Well, that's amazing. Good. And I know the universe needs me. Yes. I love it. Christy says, will there be more support in the general group than in the general group? Oh yeah, absolutely. So we have a members only group for Business by Design. Amazing community people. And then we're going to do 4 live webinars like this with hot seats, coaching, additional training, all kinds of cool stuff, right? You're going to love it. Okay. Oh, so Jenna says, okay, sorry, I meant buy early price versus price after launch. Wait. So I got confused. I'm sorry, Jenna. I all I remember is I said don't do discounts. Marion, what's your best advice for starting out? Okay. Wow, let me think about that for a second. What's your best advice for starting out? Here, I got a lot of best advice for starting out. My first advice is profit first. That's my best advice. Stop this BS. I got to spend 18 months slaving over creating a blog and a website and a freebie and blah, blah, blah. It's profit first. You can help people today. We have had people go through the program. I'm not saying I recommend it or everyone should do it, but they're like, they don't even have a website. They don't have a Facebook page, and they've created a group coaching program. You don't need to have branding and a logo to help people. You don't need to have 100 blog posts and a top 10 podcast before you can help people. Now, you do need to have the skill, the expertise in what you teach and coach on or help people with, but you don't need to have all this other stuff before you can help somebody. So I would create a 90-day plan and work backwards. Even if it was like, I just want to make my first $1,000. How am I going to do that? And you can do that without creating any content. Hey, I'm going to just take 3 people through a little group coaching program, or do some one-on-ones, or I'll do combine it with some client work or something to get my feet wet, to get some clients. And if you focus then on 3 to 5 clients, getting them the biggest, bestest, most amazingest results ever, it's all a snowball effect from there. A website is not a business, ladies and gentlemen. Logo branding, that's not a business. If you go and research me, you will find my stuff from 10, 9, 8, 7 years ago. It is ugly. It is a joke. But that's because I knew back then that stuff is secondary. It's only after we got a certain level and I got married that my wife was like, all right, we got to make your stuff look halfway professional. We got to do like a photo shoot and have graphic designers do branding and stuff. But I didn't need that to start, and neither do you. Joe says, what if you have a niche, but you haven't formalized a service or course yet? Survey is the answer, Joe. Survey, ask. Find anyone in your niche who's struggling with something. Get on the phone with them. Do a free session with them. Hey, just want to help. I'm not here to pitch anything. Just want to know, like, what are you looking for? How can I help? Mary says, how do I build an email list? 2 ways. On my traffic section, I said this at the beginning of the call. Paid ads and a platform. You pick one platform, you run paid ads, you do that consistently. Okay. Lisa says, is the monetize before you make it a separate program that you can buy independent of Business by Design? Yes, but it's $2,000. You might as well just buy Business by Design. It's $2,000. Let's see. Skylar says, you mentioned doing group coaching that will then become your course. Yes. Can you please explain a little bit more about how we go about doing that? Yeah, I'll keep a very abridged version. So there's 2 things you're doing here, Skylar. First is we have to do a promotion to sell the boot camp. Let's just call it a boot camp. You can call it whatever you want, but it's a group coaching, it's a boot camp, whatever, right? So first you got to get the people in there, and we have a strategy for that. But then I think what you're referring to is like, how do you deliver that and turn that into a course? Is that what I'm saying? So, or what I'm hearing? So look, you get to do that any way you want. When you create your curriculum, you can sit there and say, all right, you guys, welcome, you're founding members, or you're going to go through this bootcamp experience with me. We're going to do a call a week. I'm going to upload a video a week. I'm going to do 2 calls a week. It's really up to you. And they hop on live, or you could do pre-recorded, where every Monday I drop a new video in the members area. So the point is you're giving yourself more time to create the content. And when you do it live, there's an experience attached to it. And then once you've done it, you've got the videos recorded. Now you can sell it as your course. Boom. Reika says, I'm really interested in BBD, and I'm wondering if this is the right fit for me, given that we've worked on the curriculum as a place that I'm stuck. I think the course in a weekend would be the best fit for you. That's going to help flesh that out. Tamika already asked that, I think, right? Do we get immediate access to all the modules in BBD? The answer is yes. Let's see. Oh my gosh, a lot more questions have come in. Sorry, guys, I haven't gotten to all these. There's a lot. Okay. Yeah. So, can I still get? Marion says, "I'm sold. Can I still get your course?" Yes. Let me. Oh, okay. I think Jilly just sent you a private link, but I'll bring up the link for all you guys. www, please, businessbydesign.training.net/join. And until midnight tonight, you guys are going to get my absolute automation bonus, which is our $1,000 a day funnel. That's pretty cool. You guys are going to see how that works. Ray said, oh no, sorry. Yeah. Course in a weekend is one of the bonus, training. It's like a mini course within, Business by Design. I was joking. You can't get it for 2,000 separately. I mean, I'd sell it to someone for 2,000 separately, but it's only available inside, the program. Yeah. Michelle said, awesome. Thank you so much, Jilly. Okay, let's see. When will the replay be made available? As soon as possible, like probably tomorrow sometime. And then I think this will be the last one I take. Melanie says, why, you mentioned a payment plan. Why is that critical for webinars? Yeah, it's not critical for webinars. I think it's just really effective. I mean, there's a lot I can say on the payment plan. No matter what promotional strategy you're doing, it just makes payments a little bit easier for people. So you don't have to do it. It's nice. A lot of people will ask for it. But sometimes payments fail. So you should have a process in place, process being the operative word there, for collecting those. Oh yeah, he says your boss is against it. I mean, look, you're going to get more customers. It's plain and simple. But tell your boss if he has a process in place for what to do when payments fail, you're going to be fine. And even just like doing a 2-pay, you don't have to go 12 payments. You can just be like, hey, let's just do 2 payments, So anyways, all right, you guys, appreciate you staying here for close to 3 hours. Appreciate my team. Thank you, Jelly, for staying here for 3 hours. That's really great, you guys. I really appreciate it. I am going to call it a night because I haven't eaten dinner and I am starving at this point. Just to recap really quickly, Business by Design will be open until this Friday, 11:59 p.m. Everything that you're getting is on this page, including our bonus. If you sign up tonight, Absolute Automation. Business by Design is the fastest way to grow and scale your digital product business. It's based on my 10 years of experience of building a multiple 7-figure a year business. And it's designed in a way I've never seen any other course created. It's very different in that we give you the step-by-step process maps, execution guides, so you can get to work and get the results you're after. I really, really thank you guys for participating in this crazy awesome experiment I did. I hope you found it as valuable as the people who have been giving great praise and feedback during this entire webinar. But I appreciate all of you guys being here, staying present, staying open, staying coachable. That's it for tonight, but we're going to be available all week. Support is standing by. What's our customer success at? Customer success at jameswedmore.com. I'm in the Facebook group answering questions. We're going to go live tomorrow again at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And hopefully we'll get a ton more hot seats in. And we'll be available all week to support you. For those of you guys who've already signed up, awesome. Welcome aboard. And have a great night. Thank you guys. Take care.